I'm taking my time with this intro, just like Clodsire took its time with the draft. I'm gonna be real, it is always incredible how slow Clodsire finishes drafts. Like 2 seasons in a row, they've been the slowest, and that by a far margin. I don't know how you guys do it, but it just happens, I guess.
I mean, both times it had the main thing was round one. I mean, last season, PGP dropped off the face of the earth, and like we had to wait until eventually we had to replace him. And this season, we also had someone else took like a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Round one.
And then other stuff as well, and then that also led to us changing who was in the division as well, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
He hasn't messaged me since. Basically, he was basically dropped. I've put Munganor anyway, so I wouldn't see it anyway.
Anyways, as you can see, these are the Clodsire Prs and we are the Clodcast. Hello and welcome. As you've heard, I am here with Roy, and I'm here with Zeb.
Hello.
What's up? Gambling's bad, guys. Don't do it.
Exactly. Gambling is bad.
Roy's addicted to it.
Yeah, I'm in too deep.
Yeah, for anybody who has not seen a PR video yet, what the fuck are you doing? And for anybody who's wondering why it says CPL Season 2, I just didn't change it. That was my bad. We are on Season 4. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna go through all of the teams in the Clodsire division and rank them based on how good the teams are on paper. What do we mean by...
It is also... it should be obvious, but also just as a disclaimer, it's for entertainment. Like, we might see some stuff that we don't like, but in hindsight, maybe we're totally wrong. It has happened multiple times that we thought it was a problem and it wasn't, or that always happens. And obviously, sometimes a draft might not be that good, but the player is good. But we shouldn't. At least I haven't tried to take that into account too much.
Yeah. I mean, we have a good example in last season. Last season, Fluvy X was ranked last in the Clodsire PRs, and he made finals. So just take these rankings with a grain of salt. Don't take them too serious.
Yeah.
We have to, for anybody who has not seen one of the newer PRs, we've changed the rankings a little bit. It's now basics, offensive core, defensive core, support, and then the total. And while Emilio's not here because he bailed on us, he has left his freak meters for Clodsire. So, we will get into number 16 right now, which is Skyhops. And his freak meter team does not fuck.
It does not fuck at all. I would say this is a prime example of a good player with it's respectfully, a not very good team on paper, and I do not like it.
Honestly, the only way I can describe it is this team looks like it should have an Alamomola.
Actually, I would actually fuck with this team if it had an Alamomola. Genuinely.
This team definitely looks like it should have an Alamomola.
Because it lacks a water, it lacks good slow pivot, or pivots in general almost, it still has Glowking, but it's only Glowking. The team... Aggron lacks a Wish Passer. You would have wanted the region core, and I know Skyhops well. I know Skyhops loves Mola's Glowking, so I assume it probably got sniped, but why would you not replace that with a different water then?
I don't remember seeing it though in the division. I think it's still there. So
wait, is it?
Fluvy has it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
So, let's get into the scores of the team real quick. For basics, it entails the typings and the speed tiers, and do they have everything like a draft necessarily should have? Do they have a hazard sighter? Do they have a remover? Etc. etc. So, looking at the type charts already, Fluvy is missing 3 types you would call
Skyhops.
Skyhops. I got hung up on the Fluvy because of the aloe. Skyhops is missing 3 important typings: water, flying, and ghost. Let's start with the one that is not so bad. He doesn't have a ghost type, which is pretty okay. He has 2 times resist to fight, like 4 times resist to fighting, and a Iron Moth that can occasionally take a fighting move if necessary. Then we get to the issue with flying and water. He does have a levitate mod in Cryogonal, and he has a grass type in Zerud, which is pretty okay for to defend against the ground types. But for Cryogonal, Cryogonal will have to carry boots before it Terras. Otherwise, you're taking 25%, and any physical move that is like not a ground move will probably kill it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of like, and even then, I mean, Sarud is a pretty good switch in, but it's also it has so many weaknesses that most ground types will find a way to punch through it, be it like U-turn from the Landos, be it fire moves, a lot of ground like Tusk CC, some get ice moves
Skitter,
like
Smack, Zygarde, like there's a lot of stuff.
even that, yeah. Mega Horn, some grounds get like this team could very easily fall apart by like just a good ground type getting a speed boost and then it's all over.
Yeah.
Because Cryogonal as well does cover some things as well, but also it's your only Terra Captain as well, which feels a bit as well, like on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially also with like another problem with like we have the defensive war pretty high because like there are good defensive mons, but at the same time like they share weaknesses.
Yeah.
Mainly the ground war, this like again another one like, and technically everyone can like take one ground move, but even then it's still like a very glaring weakness on the team. And obviously the two double fighting resists help a lot, and Pagos isn't weak to fighting at the first turn, but at the same time it's most weeks half your team will be weak and half your team will resist fighting.
Yeah.
And that's not the worst, but it's also like a bit volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also has 3
Also-
mods that really like running boots in Pagos, Cryo, and Iron Moth. So that's also like a little bit of the thing. So we will definitely see.
I will say this. There is another thing we haven't noticed as well. They do have a ground type, but their ground type's Trapinch.
Yeah.
So Fault Switch spam is very good into this team because, no offense, I like Trapinch as like a backup 2.0. I actually have drafted it several times, and it is a mon that can do work in the right matchup, but it is not a reliable ground type.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Skyhops has obviously done one cardinal sin in draft, not drafting a water type. Water types are good for 2 reasons. Water type is a very good defensive typing in that it is only slowed by electric and grass types. So you have a very good defensive profile with water, and obviously water can also be very good offensively considering how prevalent like good ground types and stuff are. So kind of rough that you did not pick up a water type.
Yeah. Like, as for the team as a whole, it's still... Honestly, the rating is almost surprisingly high just because, like, top 6 is just a group of 6 good mons. Like, if you bring Pagos, Moon, Glowking, Laylee, Aggron, Moth to a gate, like, obviously that core has a ton of issues, but that's still, like, a fundamentally good group of mons to bring. So, like... Let's see why the team's like isn't as low as you'd maybe think it would be.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bottom, but the rating.
I rated basics 2.5 for context as well because I just looked at the basics. Because I also look at their rocks as well. Their rocks are really bad, even though they got 3 rockers. Because I feel like only Mega Aggron wants to run rocks.
Pagos can run it. Pagos can run it a surprising amount.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just how I like using trap guys. I don't really like running rocks on it often. Maybe I'm being harsh.
Maybe it's more like 8-man Palix, but I've seen like lead rocks Pagos a lot as just like a rocks breaker.
Yeah, that's fair.
In lead, because obviously then you you get an item alongside your ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's solid.
I do think the basics can definitely be improved. Like even like getting a water type helps this team, but then also like maybe a flying type helps as well. Like this team like looking at it like a water ground type would be ideal, and then just slap on a flying type as well.
Yeah.
What water grounds are available? I can look up real quick. I'm pretty sure like
I think a lot
Gastrodon
of
is
them-
available.
I think Gastron actually helps his team a lot as well. Actually,
It also helps
Yeah.
with the hazard setting a lot.
that's what I mean. Like, it's perfect for that.
Yeah, Gastrodon is available in Clodsire, so you could definitely pick up the Gastrodon and just slap it on there. Like, I don't think you necessarily need Zarude on this team because you already have a Dark type technically, but it is a nice grass.
Well,
type to
it
have.
would make the ground issue a lot.
Yeah.
I think the problem is like it's probably too top heavy. Like I don't know which mon you'd draw, but I do feel like you probably would have to like downgrade one of the top tiers and like spread out the points a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Like looking at it, I like out of all the mons you have, it might be Iron Moth.
Yeah, probably Iron Moth or Lele, considering like
Yeah.
there are obviously different mons, but like you already have Pagos as another special perk. You don't need both necessarily.
Yeah. Let's get to the offensive core though now. For physical offense, they have Roaring Moon, they have Zarude, they have Mega Aggron, and Trapinch technically can also break, like it can trap something and take it out of the game.
Yeah.
Then for special side, we have Iron Moth, we have the Tapu Lele, the Terrapagos, the Slowking Galar, and even Cryogonal. With Terra Electric can be very scary because of Bolt Beam coverage.
Like, yeah, honestly, like it's a good terror. I did hate on it a bit in the other bit, like being like the only terror, but that's more a problem with it being the only terror on the team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad as a terror type. It's actually quite a good one, and it's a good remover as well. Like their removal's quite good, even if it's just 2 mons, in my opinion.
Yeah. I generally think this team is pretty good offensively. There's some things to mark though, like Roaring Moon and Zarude have kind of like a similar offensive, not move pool, but like they hit the same stuff offensively mostly. Like obviously Zarude can hit water types with the grass moves, which Roaring Moon kind of struggles to sometimes, but outside of that, they hit the most of the same on, so that's.
I mean, yeah. Another problem is also like them like both obviously click knockoff, and if you like both hit them on, like let's say for example like a Corviknight, then suddenly the other just basically can't touch it ever.
Yeah. So there's definitely improvements to be made on the physical side. I think the special side is very amazing though, because I think Lele and Moth hit everything they like you need to, because the one thing Lele can't really deal with well sometimes are like steel types, and Moth obviously deals very well with steel types. And then you add to that like the Terrapagos as like a late game cleaner, or like the Slowking Galar in a trick room mode. So I think you're pretty fine on that on the special side. Physical side can be improved though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, then we get to the defensive core, and obviously we've mentioned some liabilities on the defensive side. For example,
Yeah, I'm surprised that I mean, I might have even done the problem myself. I'm surprised that it's that high, because I feel like the offense is much better than the defense here. But I guess it's mainly just like Aggron and Glowking. Despite obviously you don't get wishes with Aggron, both are still just like good blanket checks physically and especially.
Yeah, and I think Cryogonal also helps with like opening Slowking's diversity up a little, because Cryogonal can be a very good special defensive mon, especially with.
I wouldn't call that very good, but I guess with Terra it actually has, and it normally obviously you have it as a second Terramon where you still want a better one, but at least here technically like it's your own Terramon, so there's no opportunity cost like to not Terra Cryogonal, but
Yeah.
you'd still want another one just so like
Yeah, and there's obviously
have the option, but
there's obviously some defensive Terrapago sets that can be ran as well. So, and same with the roots. So I think it is less about the defensive synergy. I think it's more about the quality of mons we rated on. Because I feel like the defensive synergy is a little off-putting, but I think the defensive quality of mons you have is pretty good.
That's true.
Yeah, I think the quality of the mons will overcome, because I think Sky is a good player, by the way, for context. He is a good player, and I think the quality of mons can help him overcome some of the weaknesses. Though I will say some of the stuff does not synergize well.
Yeah. And then we have support, which is also kind of a letdown here, because as Roy has mentioned before, the hazard support is probably not as good. For one, you don't have spikes at all. T-spikes can be set by Glowking or Iron Moth, because they sometimes can free up a move slot. For rocks, it's more like you're rarely bringing Trapinch, if ever. Aggron can carry them very viably, yes. But Terrapagos has four move slot syndromes anyway a lot of the time, so sometimes you just won't be able to run rocks at all. For momentum support, you have 3 U-turn mons, which I think only one clicks U-turn very often, which is Roaring Moon, unless you're running it with like booster set.
It's a root also. I mean, that's able to root and moth can click it like decently. It's the problem is more just that like Glowking's the only slow one, so that means you have to go the pivot route with Glowking every single time.
Yeah, and considering how
I mean that is how I use it, but
yeah, of course,
that's pretty much how I use it. To be fair.
But considering how often you want to get in your offensive mons on this team, there is, I think, a little too little momentum. Because I feel like this team plays more around the offense than the actual defense. But I could be wrong here. And then knockoff we've mentioned before as well. Roaring Moon and Zarut are the only 2 viable knockoff mons, because Cryo really cannot fit knockoff, because it runs one of the removals, recover, and then freeze dry plus Terra Blast most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the big issue from the support perspective is like you don't have Wish, which while the Slowking can like regen off and Cryogonal can recover, especially Mega Aggron and Terrapagos would really appreciate Wish.
Yeah, like normally I think Wish is like very overrated. Like most team doesn't need it or like doesn't even care about it. With Mega Aggron, it's the opposite. I'd almost go for let's say you need Wish on a Mega Aggron team to like, actually get the most use out of it. And here you don't even have the option.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I don't remember any of the mons here. Like not even Healing Wish, which is worse, but that still would be a good option.
Yeah.
And I would say this honestly, as it was mentioned at the start, if Aloe was on this team bumps up like quite a few rankings on with defensive core, support, and basics, and it becomes a much better team. It is a shame they probably got sniped, because it does feel like they were looking for Aloe. Don't know that for certain, but it like literally Aloe. It feels like this is a team that's missing one piece, and it goes up dramatically. It literally is like maybe even even like Sylveon. Sylveon could probably fit as well.
Yeah, but if you're getting
Sylveon,
Aloe,
but
if you're getting Sylveon, I don't think you need Lele then necessarily, because you're then doubling up on Fairy and Psychic types.
Agreed. I was just trying to think. Because when I draft Mega Aggron, which I drafted a couple times, I either try and pair it with Aloe or Sylveon, depending on what I've already got.
I also know Sylveon has already went in the division, so yeah.
Fair.
I think in general this team is not bad, but it definitely is missing some pieces. Like as we've mentioned at the beginning, this team looks like it looks like an Aloe team, but doesn't have Aloe, basically.
Yeah. And not just Aloe, like a type, a mon of that, like could be Vaporeon, could like even be as bad as Audino would still improve the team.
Yeah.
Or it could be Sylveon, could be Florges, etc.
Exactly. So there's definitely some fixes you can make with this team, but I think in general you can probably make it work, especially with the
also
player Skyhops is.
Yeah. I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we have to talk as much about every team as we did here.
Yeah. Number 15 we have Luster. And his freak meter is Japan out of 10. Why Japan specifically? I don't know. We'll have to ask Emilio about that.
Yeah, that's Emilio's going on the list.
Emilio's going on the list.
Oh yeah, I was obviously off topic, but why not hear it here? I'm supposed to play an insurgents game. Do I want to do it on call, or do we want to just me step out for a bit?
You could just do it on call. I don't mind.
Yeah, it's interesting.
One thing
Sure,
one,
we can. It's not in for a bit. We can.
one thing to mention about Leicester's team, he has made changes after week 1 already, and he has improved the team. But like, let me go on about what the team was when he drafted, because that's what the PRs are about. So for basics, he is missing 2 important typings, water and ghost. For ghost, it's actually pretty fine because he has solid fighting resists and solid normal resists. But no water type. Same explanation with Skyhops. Good defensive and offensive profile of water types is just missing here. And then for the speed tiers, there is no too big gap until you get to like 75 to 50, where there is kind of a big gap, but there's not too many mons in there that are like giga threats, so it's quite alright.
Yeah, because 110 covers. Yeah, it's only like. What ones even are there? It's like Talonflame, which like
it's
whatever.
mons from 125 and above, so that would be like Swellow, Weavile, Talonflame,
No. 110 covers 125. Or
no,
it's only Talonflame, literally.
It's only Talonflame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this: that the 95 gap is basically a gap down to forever because none of them on Mega Scissor's not running speed. Can't think of
No,
reason.
I definitely disagree there.
I don't know. I most times when I use Mega Scissor, I'm not running speed on it. To be fair.
I mean, obviously it depends on how you use it, but like, especially in offensive Mega Scissor sets, you could definitely run speed. Like, not. It's definitely one you might have to creep for, especially if especially if you're resisted to BP but weak to like CC, for example.
Yeah.
Oh damn! Then I was wrong in a lot of PR. I just double checked again. Yeah, for some reason in my head it was like the gap was 14 and not 15 points between speed gaps where it gets crucial.
At least for the high ones it's 15 that you need.
Yeah, I think for the lower ones it might be 14. I don't remember.
I believe so. Yeah, but.
Anyways, but yeah, the reason the basics R5 are obviously the big missing typings, and like water is just like a cardinal, so it's a cardinal soul to not have a water type.
Yeah, and it's less of a crucial type. It's more like a nice to have type is fighting, just because of. I mean, especially normal types, because there are still pretty like a few good ones, but also just in general, obviously fighting is just a good, strong offensive type, and if you have limited options for it, and also, I don't know if.
I would counter where they do have a fighting type and a water type and a ghost type.
Yeah, I was about to say I am also aware that a Sylvan is there, but it shouldn't be used to like when it has to be like a water. Like it should basically be in an ideal draft. It should be drafted as if it wasn't there. Like you could take away Sylvali and the draft still functions. And here you're forcing Sylvali into like specific roles a lot, and that just means you don't really get the most use out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's jump into offense though. For physical offense, we have Aerodactyl, we have Ogrepon, we have Landorus Incarnate, and we have Mega Scizor. And for special offense, we have Chiyu, we have Landorus again, we have Deoxyspeed with Nasty Plot, for example, and we have Dragalge because adaptability to Dragalge is a scary offensive mon. So I think the offense works pretty well. There's also some mons that like cover each other. Like in the case of like Ogrepon and Chiyu, I think they cover each other pretty well offensively. And then like the Dragalge also helps, like because Chiyu sometimes struggles into like specific fairy types. Like for example, like the one that comes into mind right now is Darkspawn, which is just like a hard wall to Chiyu. And then Dragalge is just like a perfect beat to like perfectly beats Darkspawn.
Yeah, that's a really good pattern.
Yeah, and then obviously Ogerpon and Land are also pretty good together. So yeah, I think the offense works pretty well. The defense is a huge issue on this team though, because if you look on the physical side, the only two mons with a defense set above 100 are Mega Scissor and Carbink.
I mean, it's not just stats. It's also just the only mons here that even can run defensive sets well is Dragalge, Mega Scissor, and to a lesser extent Helvalai, and that's it.
Yeah, obviously
Like-
Carbink is just a defensive mon, but it's a 1-pointer.
Yeah, it doesn't count. I mean, it's a good 1-pointer, but it doesn't count as like a defensive one.
Yeah, and then and then Dio Speed can run like bulkier sets, but it's not going to be a bulky mon if you run it bulky.
Yeah, I mean, even then, like a bulky DOS is still not a bulky mon.
Yeah.
Even if Luster can make it look like one sometimes.
Yeah. I do think the support on this team is pretty good though, because you have mons that very, very reliably click knockoff. I think all of them can click knockoff pretty well. Then you have like somewhat of a trick room mode for Dragalge, but it's probably never happening. But like the very good things about the support are, for one, the massive amount of momentum support. There's like a lot of momentum, like Savala with U-turn or parting shot, U-turn Ogre, U-turn Lando, U-turn on the Scissor, and then flip turn on the Dragalge. And then the hazard support is also great because you have mons that can run hazards very reliably, and then you have like backup hazard setters, which I think makes this team work very well on the again supports the offense very well, which is I think the big factor on this team. This team is more of an offensive minded team than a defensive minded one.
Yeah, and it's still amazing, but it's still like pretty good. I mean, it's mainly like Mega Scissor and Silvale with pivoting, but it's still decent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like on this team, Mega Scissor would probably just be like maybe just the bulky pivot you pivot into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also Dragalge, to be fair. Like it's
Not
ideal, but it's like decent.
Yeah.
I will say this, Aerodactyl as well with Terra is actually kind of underrated as an offensive threat as well, which I forgot to mention earlier. And Dragalge as well from Nuke. Like Aero is actually one I'm looking at for another league. I was going to consider Terring as well. Something against it, because I want it for its speed tier. But actually, surprisingly, it's a good mon. Like it's better than you think it is for mid tier. I rate it.
It's just like 1 of 5 attack is starting to become more and more like average, but Terra helps for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And you just position it right, especially with its offensive typing in the right matchups. Just chuck a choice band on it, and it actually will get some surprising kills.
Yeah.
I do think Luster's new variation of the team is a lot better, even though he dropped something like the Mega Scissor. But he did get some mons that I think fit him better.
What's the team?
Replacements. He replaced Scissor Mega with Mawile Mega, Deoxys Speed with Necrozma, Ogerpon with Keldeo, Aerodactyl Terra with Crobat Terra, and Dragalge Terra with Bellybolt Terra.
Honestly, as much as I was glazing the Aerodactyl Terra and the Dragalge Terra, I think those two Terras work better for what he needs.
Yeah.
I think it's a good choice.
And then he also traded Carbink to Mr. Scrags for Servine. Don't know what the Servine exactly does, but he has it.
Does Servine get Glare?
It might. Let me double check.
That Glare and leave on water if it comes.
It does.
If. Okay, yeah, Glare and Evo Light and Leaf Storm bullshit. It can do something in a matchup. Maybe.
So, yeah. But the new variation definitely fits them more. Anyways, that was number 15 Luster with the Freak Meter Japan. This brings us to number 14 Pimiki and the Freak Meter of meh out of 10. I fucked with this team a lot more than you guys did.
Yeah, I just found it a bit. Honestly, it reminds me of my team, as in it's a bit average.
Yeah, I can see
I
where
mean,
you're coming from.
I could be misjudging it, but it does feel to some extent just it just kind of feels like a bunch of random mons. I mean, that
It
could be
definitely.
like most teams, but like I don't. I mean, I could just be missing it, and I probably am, but there doesn't strike me as much like actual synergy here. Like there are a few good mons, but it's actually hard to envision them like working together.
Yeah, I can see
Do you
what you
remember
mean,
that?
though.
Do you remember that image that Sully made of like one of his teams from BTL? And it was like goofy ass Sully team. That's what this looks like. It's a goofy ass Sully team.
I can see what you mean, yeah. Let me get into basics first. Typings wise, you're only missing Rock and Ghost. Rock is not an essential typing, and Ghost could be pretty nice here, considering while you have enough fighting resist, and especially like a very good one in Pheasantipity, your normal resist is Cortana. So
Which is very much.
yeah, special normal type attacks kind of hit hard into your team.
Boomer Sweller goes, bruh. You
Yeah,
probably need that Terra Believer clip. But I will say Terra Believer can probably cover that hole in some matchups, as well as Terra Fairs. So they have
yeah,
things that can cover that hole.
yeah. But like,
The flying weakness is probably worse, though.
yeah, the flying weakness is probably worse because you're switching as Regieleki, which is not known for its bulk.
Yeah, like a real steel type would help this team a lot.
Yeah. Cortana is never your main steel type. It's like a backup steel type.
Yeah. Also, here they technically don't cover their speed gaps, but I believe it's only like. Is there anyone with 124 speed?
124. I have speed tiers open. There is exactly 2 Mons, Rebombi and Iron Boulder.
Okay, I mean, those matchups won't be the best, but like it's too much. I mean, they might not even be drafted.
Yeah,
So,
both are
They're not
undrafted.
drafted.
I see.
Both are undrafted in Clod, so you don't have to worry about that speed gap. Yeah.
I mean, it was only like a nitpick either way.
Yeah. Otherwise, like the speed tiers look pretty fine, even like the lower ones. There's no too big gap, and I think the gap between Swampert and Arboliva is pretty fine because not a lot of monsters are like giga threats in there, where you have to like invest speed to beat them.
I will say this though, that the main reason I'm noticing straight away having a quick look at this as well is honestly the removal's a bit ass. And by bit ass I mean Katana's not a defogger. I'm Mr. Rhyme. I'm being respectful. Even with Terra, I'm not trust a spinner. The only real spinner they've got is Regieleki.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's surprisingly. And also when you see that like one of the rockers is to make a pincer, the hazard situation is also really bad.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that on support,
yeah.
but Roy did take the lead there.
Sorry, that was one of the reasons why I ranked it on basics, because I looked at that hazards remove and I was like,
Yeah.
I think that covers both. That's one reason why I ranked it a bit low.
Yeah. For offensive core, like physically, we have Regieleki, Kartana, Mega Pinsir, Victini, Komo'o, Swampert, and technically there's also Sword Stance Darkrai sets if you really want to. And then especially Regieleki again, Darkrai, then Victini again, Komo'o again, Mr. Rhyme, and Arboliva. So I think the offense is pretty good. And there's also some mons that work very well together. For example, I think like Pinsir and Victini do work well together on the offensive side.
Yeah. Well, aside from the weakness to rocks, but yeah, offensively, yeah. Between like obviously Pinsir struggles with some like steel and electrics, and Victini can kill most of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would say this as well. This is where the team thrives because offensively it hits like a fucking truck. And you've even got stuff like Pheasantipity that will do stuff like Toxic Chain Shenanigans that can slowly get stuff in range.
Yeah. I do really think this team has like, especially physically, it's very, very scary. Like the combination of Kartana, Pinsir, and Victini on the physical side is very scary. And then like there's some Dragon Dance Como sets or like Clanger Soul sets you can do. So I do think the offense works very well. The defense is a little middling, though, as we've mentioned before. Like, obviously, like the flying weakness is pretty big. The normal weakness is pretty big. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Aaron.
We are stopping mid PRs to do a battle.
Yeah,
I
I would
your
just like
tip
to
so much,
say-
Zeb. How did you get 4 Ubers?
I will say
mean-
this: we have upgraded Emilio with a better American.
Now I wouldn't go that far because
I
I
mean,
was gonna say something racist. I'll refrain.
technically, Emilio's only half American because he's half Mexican as well.
Oh, that wasn't the reason why I was ranking him
Where's
lower.
it born?
He was
Do we
born in
want
America.
like the PR people to see this, or do we not? Or I mean, the the people on the video to see this, or do we not care?
Actually, he's my son, so he was born in the UK. But
Oh, you didn't.
yeah,
bring
that's not why
Torn.
he's not good enough.
You didn't bring Torn. That's what I was like. What heights your mono am
I
I missing? here?
haven't brought Torn the entire season.
Well, you have 4 fucking
Sorry,
Ubers. That's why
sorry,
you
I
just
should
bring the
tell you.
Magic Bounce Mon and the fucking Spike Setter, and then you run 4
I can drop
Ubers
the
to
link in
go.
Clodcast at least.
It's
The
actually
Clod
so
chat,
funny
actually.
how hard I lose this, but it's
Oh,
okay.
it's just
We
because
ride.
Anyways, while you guys talk about your match, I will continue on here. The defensive core basically consists of Como, Pheasant Deputy, Swampert, and Arboleva, which can be on some points it's pretty
Okay,
nice
well.
because like Arboleva obviously taking all the grass moves Swampert doesn't like
Well.
and stuff. Same with Como.
I see.
But Pheasant Deputy can take the fairy moves Como doesn't like. So in
Get the cow cup.
in some sense it works, but there's also like the big weaknesses that are very exploitable on this team.
Yeah, honestly, like I rated it based on the fact that they do have some very good defensive mons, but there's a lot of frail mons as well. I will say this, and this is probably going to come up in support. Reggie Alecki actually is a very key piece of this team, I think.
Yeah, we can.
And that's bad, having Eleki be a key piece.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a bit of a double-edged sword with
Like
that.
it's a bit underrated as a support mon, but when it's your main support mon, that's bad.
hmm
No, why would you do this to me?
Yeah,
Also,
why would you
yeah,
do that?
I knew you would be terrifying, but I didn't expect specs.
Yeah, I had to run a calc to make sure you were HP because I was like, he's
yeah, I
fucking
was
far from
bulky.
actually hang myself.
I do think the support
I by the way,
is
contact.
the-
We're going to do the send it to you. No context, by the way.
yeah. The support is like the knockoff support is pretty good, I would say. The rest of the support is where it like falls down. Like momentum support is like 4 mons, and Regulaki momentum obviously not reliable because it's volt switch. Then
Like,
we've talked about the
Really,
removal
right?
being pretty bad outside of like Regulaki spin, because the others are not like reliable in their role as a spinner or a defogger. And then for rock setting, it's mostly gonna be Swampert and Como, and then you don't have any other hazard, which is also a pretty big minus point.
Yeah. Can I ask a
What is
genuine
it?
question? Because I do not actually know this interaction. Does Screen Cleaner remove your own screens?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it does.
Okay, that's a bit of negative synergy as well. I generally did not know interaction because Mr. Rhyme, again, not to be offensive, is a bit of an unmon.
Yeah, if
But,
only it had better everything.
I mean,
yeah,
I
if they're
think,
better thing, it might
I
actually
think
be some
its
on.
move pool is
Live,
pretty.
live, live,
Its
live.
move pool is pretty good. It just
Yeah.
it just would need a little more speed.
True.
Yeah, it is really that actually be a good support on.
I
I'll say
almost
this.
clicked to start.
Reggie Alecki with screens can help let something set up on this team, and it might
Nice.
actually give
Good
like
anyway.
Katana a way to make fun special hits as well in these matchups. But overall, I do think this team is like it's basically a goofy ass Sully team.
Exactly.
This matchup is so fucking scary, man.
But I do like the team. I do think people I do like a lot of the mods on the team. Personally, because I really
I
like
like-
Mega Pinsir, Como, and Cortana.
I like the team more than I ranked it. If that makes sense, I don't think it's a bad team, but I don't think it's actually. I honestly, other than like the bottom two, I don't think any team's actually a bad team. I actually probably would rate this team above some of the other teams, but on paper, there's a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Workable issues, but issues.
Next up, we have Mr. Scraggs at number 13, and his freak meter is 0.6 out of 100.
Amelia not fucking this team. Yeah, this is a team. I mean, by feeling this team is weaker than the last team, for example, even though on paper it's better.
Yeah. Only 0.5 better, but yeah. From the basics wise, you're not missing any necessary typing except maybe normal, but you have 2 dark types and 2 dark types that can take ghost moves very well, so that's not really an issue.
I've been playing this really badly.
Speed tiers wise is where there is a huge problem because you have a gap between 92 and 50.
Yeah.
Now, if you set Trick Room here, I'll be really mad at you. Oh, never mind, you're dead.
That was good timing, actually. They do actually have a trick room on, but yeah, the speed tier is a massive problem.
Alright.
Yeah.
What's Spiritomb get in prison, by the way?
Hey.
I can double check.
Hey.
Did you forget it's Breaker?
I didn't know its ability in the first place, actually.
Fair
You want me to be
enough.
honest? If you want me to be honest.
Fair enough.
If you want honesty, I do not know its ability.
Spiritomb does get in prison.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is at least a kind of that.
Right, now you
but
manually set
yeah,
Trick Room,
basically
but
anything
that's
below
okay.
92 speed can just go, well, I don't need to invest in speed, so I can put it in attack or bulk or that sort of stuff. So that they're basically getting
Oh, you're a
free
G.
EVs there for like.
That's freaky. I respect that.
The Subaru does not run speed either, to be honest. It's not there for speed.
Because of
Yeah.
Vespiquen and Amoonguss, like you have one slower than me, Trick Room, so like Trick Room wasn't actually the best tier.
Nah, I just thought you'd run it anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
Jesus.
Yeah, Vespiquen and
I don't deserve that
I'm
one
going to start
anyway,
threat
that's
here, I'm not
funny.
going to lie.
Yeah. For the offensive core, like physically, we have a pretty big weakness because it's physically basically Entei
you got
and
weakness?
Crook and Azu.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Oh, actually, can we go back? Actually, one thing I forgot to mention in basics. Sorry, I did forget to mention this as well. I do not like that fairies are kind of spammable into a team because Entei is not a defensive mon, and Fortress especially, Moonblast is kind of free.
I think you're underrating Entei's defensive capabilities a little bit because it has 115, 85, 75. It is bulkier than you think it is.
True. No, true, but I mean, more Entei, you're not bringing it to be defensive, you're bringing it to be offensive. So win it's not terror here, but that probably benefits the team overall.
Yeah, I guess. Then, like for the special offense is a lot better. We have Tornti, Raikou, Latias, and Shaman, which is also kind of underwhelming. Our offense is there, but it is underwhelming offense. If you know what I mean.
I will give Drapion a bit of credit only because it's got terror and it does get sword stance. But as someone who likes Drapion, it's not the best offensive mon. It probably was better defensive.
The bigger problem is that almost all of the offense, aside from all the special offense, rely on setup.
Yeah,
like Torn, Ladi, Raikou can all be pretty good offensive ones in the right matchup, but they all have to set up first, basically. Unless
They
a
just
team's
like
like
use
super
their
dragon.
item.
and
They could use
Shaman
their
needs
item
to
to help them, like Life Orb
Yeah.
Torn or like Specs Lottie, but like even then, I
Yeah,
think that
oh, yeah,
it
yeah, but
takes away
yeah,
from
you
like
get
the
some-
mon, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you're running
get some
into
flying
somebody
teams.
takes away from it. Yeah.
The team like definitely has some issues on the offensive department, both on special and physical side. Because while Entei with Sacred Fire can hit very hard, it also like needs a choice band slapped on to be like very threatening with that. And Crook as well, like after Moxie boost or something, can be very scary. But straight out of the gate, sometimes it is lacking a little bit, sometimes.
I think the physical side's fine. It's more the special, I think.
Yeah, the special side is...
Special is versatile, though. Like, I really don't have an issue with it, because it's between, like, Torn, Laddie. You could run Shaman base form special if you really want. You still have Raikou. It has Terra. Like, you have a few options. It's just,
that's why it's, like,
you don't want to run
pretty
them
good instead of, like,
special every week,
real
you know?
good.
Yeah, because then you're going to have to flex Torn or Laddie off whatever else you would be able to do with it into an offensive role.
Yeah. The defense, of course, is a lot better here because I feel like generally looking at the whole team, like all of the team is bulky. Like there's no mon you look at and immediately say, okay, it's fucking paper on defense. Like every mon can take a hit from either the physical or the special side.
Crazy.
Great.
I mean, Raikou's there, but it's not super frail. I mean, physically it's frail, but it's not as bad as some other teams. So I do mostly.
I
Yeah.
think even Raikou can kind of take a couple of hits like in the right spot, but that's probably with Terra.
Yeah, even without her, I've ran AB Raikou, for example, which can put in work if in like the right matchup, but like the frailest mon I would call here is probably the Raikou, yeah. But I do think like there's also no too big weaknesses. Like Roy mentioned the fairy weakness, but I think it's pretty fine because Entei can take Moonblast pretty decently, although there's no recovery. Because Entei, unlike Gouging Fire, does not get Morning Sun.
We should get that in Earthquake.
Yeah, for sure.
Give it Earthquake.
And outside of that, like you have checks for the ice weakness. You have, like you only have one mon to switch into rock moves, but I think Crook does that job pretty well, so I don't think it's too much of an
And
issue.
like, if there's any one type you don't have to worry about that much, is usually rock types, because there just aren't that many good ones are drafted. Like even one of the best ones in like Boulder isn't even drafted, and like Titar's a support mon, and all the others like Glimura is offensive but also a support mon. Nile Ego just not that scary.
Yeah.
Well, with Terra to be fair, but
yeah.
The main point is just like usually just having your one ground type is not ideal, but it's still fine.
Yeah. I do think the support on this team was underrated a little bit because I do think the support is better than it actually looks like. Because, for one, we have 4 monsters that can click knockoff reliably. We have Latias and Shaman Healing Wish. We have Wish from Latias. We have decent enough removal and decent enough hazard setting. Where the big weakness is, I would maybe say, is momentum, because you have only one like reliable offensive momentum in Torn, because Raikou and Fortress obviously can't momentum into ground types, and then there's the defensive momentum of Baton Pass or Latias. But like in general, I don't think it's as bad as it was rated by you and Roy.
My problem with it is just so much relies on Fortress, and I think Fortress is a really bad mon.
I don't think Fortress is a bad mon, but it definitely needs Fortress to function quite a lot here.
Like if it wasn't a team where Fortress is just like a supplemental piece, I don't mind Foray, but when Foray is needed to do a bunch of roles, that's when it's bad. Like, it's obviously Torn and Lottie can defog, but you kind of want to free them up, and that means Foray kind of has to spin. Crook can rock, but like one of Crook's best sets is often Scarf, which means Foray also has rocks, which means it can click spikes, and is also not a mon you really want to bring every week. Like, it's best when you can just like throw it in when you need some extra like hazard support, but here you need to bring it every week to actually have reliable hazard support and or clearing.
Yeah,
and that just means, and also being the Pharisees, like Foray is a mon that like if Foray was like Mega Caesar, that's a mon you can rely on to do a lot, but Foray is not a mon you want to rely on to fill a lot of roles.
Yeah. I do think this team is the team leans more on the bulky offense category. I do think this team is like missing like hard hitters like from the get-go a little bit. I think otherwise like this team can work out the way it is.
Yeah. It fits into the not for me team, but like I don't think it's a bad team.
Yeah. At number 12, we have Raven Eye. With the freak meter Sydney Sweeney out of 100.
Damn, that's very freaky.
What are you talking about, Tusk here or Treads? What are we?
I don't know. I don't know.
The one with the blue jeans.
The mom with the blue jeans, aka Latios.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm going for here. She's been in an advert recently with blue jeans. That's what the joke was based on.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know lore.
Yeah, to be fair, you don't need to know Sydney Sweeney lore.
Yeah, I mean, she just pretends.
On to the basics. For the basics, we are not missing any necessary typings. Having an electric type can sometimes be nice, but it's not a necessary typing per se.
And also nice when the grass, like one of the reasons you get an electric is obviously flying resist and killing waters, and you have a good grass, and there's also a pretty good steal, or defensively.
Yeah.
For these B tiers, there is a gap between 85 and 106 that allows a few very threatening mons to run positive natures. Some that come to mind are, for example, Garchomp.
Yep.
You will face an Adamant Garchomp. You will face a modest Landorus Incarnate, a modest Thundurus Therian. Like, some of this stuff you could avoid by having better speed tiers. Like, something that is like 90 to 95 could easily fix this gap. But yeah. Outside of that, there's no too big speed gap, I guess. Then we get to the offensive core, where physically it's Meowscarada, Iron Treads, Overquill, and Okidogi. Especially it's Latios, Skeledirge, and Mega Slowbro, and technically also Clefairy. No, Clefable.
Yeah. Overquill is definitely helped by Terra on this team being an offensive threat.
Yeah.
I mean, both the poison types are pretty good with Terra, with Terra, and to like, especially that means like you don't need, if you bring both, you don't need one to say poison for T-Spikes.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, no, I meant more like Okidogi doesn't need Terra to be offensively powerful. It's even more. Overquill kind of needs Terra to become a proper offensive threat, in my opinion, a lot of time, unless it's on a rain team. By the way, did they snipe Overquill from you, Seb?
Actually, no. I thought about it, but I desperately needed a fairy resist, so it was better to move apart my Drak and my. So I deliberately wanted Muck as like a good fairy resist.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I do think the offense works pretty well. Especially, I think especially there's a little more of an issue than physically. I think physically it's pretty fine, but especially like, Slowbro, Skeledirge, and Clefable are more considered defensive mons, so your special offense relies mostly on Latios.
Ben, you're forgetting Tintilen's Noctowl.
I'm not counting that shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, sorry. Anyone who takes that seriously.
Noctowl's neither bulky nor fast enough to be an offensive threat. I'm sorry.
Or strong enough.
Yeah.
Does it even get any powerful normal? Does it get anything powerful normal anyway? Like special wise, anyway. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, if you got Boom, maybe I'd care.
Yeah,
Doesn't really need
I mean, even
to.
then it still has like the same.
It's already a threat.
I guess it has basically the same special tag as Swallow, but Swallow is good because it's fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
get scrappy.
For the defensive core, I think the defensive core is a lot better than the offensive core, in my opinion, but they are the same score. Mons you can properly consider with defensive sets here are Iron Treads, Overquill, Okidogi, Skeledirge, Clefable, and Mega Slowbro. Like, they can all run defensive sets very viably. Especially like
and Slowbro also. I will say Slowbro is without an item basically, but you can still basically use it like a normal Slowbro just without an item, and you don't need to tear it straight. You don't need to move it straight away. So
and it's even like still decent because it's basically a worse Culber.
Yeah.
Because you don't take knock damage.
And also, just before anyone brings up the showdown thing, it says in the rules they cannot bring it as Glowbro. They have to bring it as Slowbro.
Yep. Yeah. For the support, I think the support is very good on this team. You have obviously hazards, and you have mons that can reliably set the hazards. Like, if Treads doesn't want to run rocks, Clef can run them, and vice versa. And I think Meow and Overquill can fit either spikes on their sets. For spinning, for removal, I think you have a very good Rapid Spinner and Iron Treads. Your defoggers are kind of fake, though.
I think they're very fake. Like, they have a great spinner and a mon that is an unmon Mon, and a Mon that's a good Mon, but not a defogger.
Yeah, like
Laos can be a
Treads is a
backup defogger,
yeah.
not main.
Treads is a very good spinner, and like in Palex it's good as like mono removal because you don't have other options. But in Natex, it is nice to like usually you still are able to get like a good secondary one, either to free up Treads or because if a team has like a really good spin broker, like Treads, for example, really struggles against, for let's say, a Sinistra.
Yeah.
So that means like it's tough to remove unless you, I guess, you use Latios, but that's a waste of a Latios when it's also basically your entire special offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then momentum support is a little weak because it's basically Meow Ladi, Treads plus the teleport mons. While I do like the teleport mons here a lot, I do think there's a little bit of offensive momentum missing on this team.
No.
No? Treads, Laddie, Meow? Clef has teleport still, right?
And
It's
flip
Okie Dokie
Latios-
doesn't move. Overcoil doesn't move. Skeletors doesn't move. But that's like 3 bulkier mons. I mean, like the entire frontal offense is pivoting consistently.
Yeah, top three will pivot.
I guess.
And both.
I'm like
both. I mean, I feel like U-turn's Meow's most clicked move, and I feel like flip turn's also very good Latios.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of Laddie's set come down to like Scarf and Specs sometimes. So even even on normal sets you can flip. Like even if you go for like a Life Orb, like you're always gonna be pivoting through one of those two, and then Treads also can move.
I was like more
I don't think
talking
it's that bad.
about momentum that does like a good chunk of damage. The only one that is Meow U-turn, because I don't think Flip Turn Ladi and Volt Switch Tread do like
even
actually do damage.
Flip Turn Lottie's still like kind of nice. Its attack stat's not non-existent.
And even then, I don't think you usually
50%?
care that much about like your momentum doing damage. And even then, like Meow U-turn still a pretty good hit.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing like, I mean, if you can tank like 1/10 of its health bar with a pivoting move from Laddie or Meow, then you're like in a really good spot. If you're talking about like momentum that does damage.
For other support, like we have Wish Clefable, which actually does support Okidogi, Overcoil, and Treads pretty well because these are mons without like reliable recovery. And considering like Okidogi can be like an offensive or defensive threat on this team, I think Clef really helps here. Especially also like when you need this Slowbro to be megaed early in the game, you can just be like, okay, here's Clef that can wish into you if you don't want to run Slack off. Then you have all mons you have can also that have knockoff on this team can reliably click it, in my opinion. So I think the support is very good on this team. Probably the best thing about this team.
Yeah, I think the support's overall pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that's Raven Eye at number 12. Which brings us to Aaron's nemesis Fluvy.
When has this nemesis shit happened?
It's only because you hate that
when
you
he's
like
6
Trodisui.
I don't even hate it.
This
If
is
I
like
can spot him- if
half
can
the
spot
team
him
I
drafting at,
played.
like, pick 3, it's crazy.
It's also
Like-
a good chunk of the team he used last season, by the way.
Yeah,
It's just his comfort
Yeah,
shit.
he does seem
but
like. He does
That's
seem
all
to
I
be
mean,
that's
completely
look,
unsustainable.
You could tell he was drafting the Electrode like pick 3. Okay.
Yeah.
When he went Donphan, Golden Go Aloe, you're like, okay, well.
It also feels
I
like
already
this
know what
team
his
wanted
pick
the
is
slow
gonna be.
King Galar.
You probably did want the fucking Galar.
I mean, I feel like most teams want it if they can get it. It's just obviously gets taken pretty early.
Yeah. It was actually late this season, I
Yeah.
think. Like round 3.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, if I see it around, to be fair, I try not to draft something yellow all the time, but if I see it by round 3 or 4, I'm grabbing it because it usually just fits whatever team's.
Yeah,
on.
it was
think I was
drafted
thinking
round
about that.
3 by Skyhops.
Yeah. So it was.
That might be a replacement for the aloe.
So it was end of round 3.
Yeah.
So they had already picked the Aloe.
Yeah.
They deemed it more important, which is completely true. Aloe probably might not have made it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Skyhop's team definitely. We were talking about it like on slide 16. Skyhop's team definitely needed aloe big time, and I think it really affected with their draft that they didn't get aloe.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the whole draft to change, but yeah.
I mean, let's
I agree,
get
but
into the
that's
basics.
not-
They're not missing any necessary typing. Dragon is like a nice type to have because of all of the elemental resistances, but it's not technically necessary. Speed tiers wise, we don't have too many big gaps here. Obviously, there's the big gap between Salaza and Electra, but how many mons really are there that are viable in our meta game?
Iron Bundle.
I think it's basically only Iron Bundle.
Lopunny.
No. I think Lopunny cannot run Adamant on Salazzle.
Sure. Am I tripping?
No, he can.
I was gonna say Lopunny's 135 and Bundle's 136.
For some reason, I thought it was 130.
It was 130?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
honestly, your question made me doubt it. I was like, man, is he right? Is it actually 130?
No, it's 135. You were correct. I should have listened to the mega Lopunny connoisseur.
This is true.
I do
This is why it's fanboy out of 100. This is a fanboy.
Yeah, freak meter fanboy out of 100. I haven't mentioned yet, but yeah, outside of like Bundle, Barraskewda, Mega Manectric, there's no like mons you are too scared of in those tiers. Then we go to the offense. The offense is where this team lacks a little bit because for physical offense, it's mostly Gyaptos, Samurott, Hisui, because while Donphan has an impressive attack stat, it's mostly run more of a defensive mon. Same with Kamala, it's more ran supportish than really offensively. And for special offense, like it's Golden Go, we have the Terra Florges and Salazzle, and obviously the Electro Hisui he really likes.
It's not the strongest team.
Yeah.
Offensively,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's quite very positive, if I'm being honest.
I do think the special
Yeah, I remember I
offenses-
ranked it pretty low because they're like I just look at the team and there's not a single one I'm usually really scared of.
like the only two I would
Bit of a
say-
simple way to say it, but like
Yeah, I think the only two mons you're immediately like scared of are the Zapdos, Galar, and the Golden Go. I think outside of that, no mon is like immediately like a big threat to you.
yeah.
Then we get to the defensive core, which is probably the best part about this team because this team again is like Fluvy's team last season is very bulky overall. Like you have mons that can generally just run defense like Yuxi, Florges, Aloe, Kamala, Donphan. Then you have some mons that are, while they are offensive mons, are still very bulky, like Golden Ghost, Samurott, Hisui, and the Gyaptos. So I think in general this team's defense holds up pretty well. There's also no two big weaknesses on the type chart, except for maybe flying, but I think Golden Go checks that box well enough for you.
Electric spamming to them's kind of good, to be fair. Like if you get past the Donphan, but otherwise, I think it's good defensive core.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Electro 4 times resist. I mean, it's probably tearing out, but at least while it's there, it 4 times resist electric.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will say this. Because look at that. This might be the first time I've seen with Triple Wish, but I think it kind of works with their team they've made.
I mean, yeah, for
I
the support,
mean-
like the Triple Wish is nice to have, but I don't think the Triple Wish is necessarily like needed here.
I think it works because Aloe often, I would say Florges would probably be more offensive on this team. And Kamala is just like a backup mon, I think, in this team. It's there to be a normal, a backup spinner, which is good because it's not a main spin, it's a backup. Honestly, it probably is. I don't think Florges come in defog often, to be honest, this team. But also, it frees up Aloe to be AV, for example, or Florges to not run Wish. So I think Wish helps this team a lot defensively.
I mean, I don't even. I mean, it's never bad. I think. I mean, just having Mola by itself is enough for that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But I also
I
don't think
don't-
they drafted Florges to have for Wish. I think it's just a byproduct of the team.
Floor just being synth most of the time.
I mean,
Here.
I think the Aloe, like, the Aloe's the main Wish supporter here, and obviously Donphan and Yuxi appreciate the wish support a lot because they are defensive mons without reliable recovery. So they do like it. I think the rest doesn't necessarily need it. Like Samrod is more offensively slash supportly pulled than defensively.
Maybe it's like the AV setting, or even still like Scarf could like. It isn't. I mean, it's obviously not very. It has a bad bulk, but the typing can be pretty good defensively.
Yeah, and then like obviously Golden Go gets recovery itself. Floor just gets recovery itself. Kamala can recover itself. But like Yuxi and Donphan definitely appreciate the wish support. There's also a lot of knockoff mons on this team, but I think the only reliable clickers are because Samurott doesn't fit it often. Because it mostly runs C/slash, flip turn, prio, and coverage move. And Salazar also not the best knockoff clicker, but I think the rest can reliably click knockoff. You also kind of you have like a little bit of a trick room mode for Donphan if you really needed to, with your physical offense. The hazard setting also
that doesn't count. That's the most cool.
Yeah. There's also like the hazard setting also looks worse than it is because Donphan and Yuxi can reliably click rocks, and then while he doesn't have spikes, he has ceaseless edge spikes with the Samurott. While they can miss, it's a low chance to miss, so you should more often than not hit the move. So
I've used Ceaseless Edge. I don't know if that's true. But I will say this, Goldeng, I would probably like maybe like a tiny bit more hazards to go with the Goldengo, but honestly, Ceaseless Edge plus two good rockers is probably enough, and T-Spikes as well on Salazar. I will say Salazar might actually be a low-key menace on this team if used right, because that thing can be a fucking pain, but it's also a very powerful attacker if you use it right.
Yeah. I think this team generally fits Fluvy's playstyle pretty good. Is it like one of the top 5 teams in Clod? No. But we've seen Fluvy make teams like these work, so I think he will do it again. Yeah. That is number 11 Fluvy. Which brings us to number 10, aka Real Blackbeard, aka Ray, with the freak meter of stud out of 100.
He is, I'd fuck Ray.
I know you would.
Especially after earlier today.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
He was staring at me what he meant to do.
Typing Spice. The only necessary typing he's missing is normal. Because fire type...
Normal's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary if you have a good dark type. But if you look at this team, their dark type is Mega Gyarados.
That's true. In this case, either like a second dark or a normal would have been better here.
That's it. Like it's not even a dark type for Mega Ring, so Ghost Spam is kind of free into this team immediately.
Yeah, because unless you you need to get the Gyarados and save, and then you can like resist the Ghost moves after you Mega. But before that, it's like quite annoying to deal with. Otherwise, this team is not missing any important typings. Of course, Fire is a nice type to have because of Fairy Resist and the offensive prowess of Fire, but it's not technically necessary. For speed tiers, there's a gap between Frostlass and Zeraora, but not too many mons that are in between them that are like big
that's actually not the best. Like it's all like the 130s that are like Coco, Megalop.
Like Coco, Megalop, Weavile, and stuff. They will run out.
No, Weavile's covered. Weavile's covered. I mean, I don't technically.
Wait, Weavile?
Because of
Weavile's 125.
Frostlass.
Yeah. Sorry. It's
but like bundle. There's like a lot of bonds here. Jolteon.
Yeah. It could be worse though.
Yeah, it could definitely be worse.
Outside of that, like the rest of the speed tiers don't have really any like big gaps you need to mention, so I think it's fine. For the offensive core, we have physically Landorus T, we have Mega Gyarados, and we have Metagross, technically also Chestnut. And for the special side, we have Nihiligo, we have Landorus T again because it can run special sets viably, we have Hydrapple, and we have like Niche, Metagross, and Feeny sets.
I will say this: I would include Chestnut in the attacking, especially like physically, only because it does get Terror and Terror Steel, Iron Defense, Body Press. Chestnut can hit like a truck.
Yeah.
Or Belly Drum.
Yeah, there is Belly Drum.
Sounds
Belly-
like good for Terra.
Belly Drum, Drain Punch, Trailblaze, Chestnut. Let's go.
I should generally say this probably for actually I'll save it for support because I actually want to ask a question about Amon, but I'll save it for support.
Okay. Then for the defensive side, like on the physical defensive side, we have Landorus T, we have Tapu Fini, we have Metagross, Chestnut, Hydrapple, and even a Mega Gyarados can take a physical hit because even in the regular form because of Intimidate. And then for the special side, Nihiligo, Landorus can again be special defensive if you really needed to. Then Fini, Mega Gyarados again, Metagross, Hydrapple. So I think the defense is probably the best part about this team because this team can really take hits.
Especially with the Terror on Hydrapple and Chestnut.
Yeah, I was supposed like the. Generally, I would have said like longevity was a problem if it wasn't for like Terra Hydrapple just being a very good like black and check into everything.
Most months, yeah. Outside of that, yeah,
Look at that.
as you've mentioned, longevity is a little bit of a problem because the only reliable recovery outside of like Region Hydrapple is Chestnut. So I think there's a little bit of an issue there, but I think it is definitely okay because Hydrapple is just that good of a Terra captain.
Yeah, like we can see how it performed this season, but like it's one of the Terras that are probably like on the edge of what we allow. Might be like actually be too strong, but
yeah. And then for support, we have some reliable knockoff clickers like in Lando and Metagross. We technically have a Trick Room mode for Hydrapple, even though I don't think it's ever coming. A thing that would be nice on this team is obviously like the Wish support, because as mentioned before, Hydrapple and Chestnut are the only reliable recovery mons on this team. And Tapu Fini is especially a mon that likes having Wish support.
Can I ask a couple of questions? One, does Metagross get trick? I felt like Metagross gets Trick Room. Why does it not get Trick Room? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, because I used it. I used Trick Room on it in Stab Mons. I didn't realize it learned that only because of Stab Mons.
No.
I see.
It gets Trick, but not Trick.
Second one, Frostless. Does it get dual screens? I know Finny does. I think Finny does.
I believe Frostless does.
It gets Light Screen and it gets Reflect, yes. So there's dual screen support on this team. I think the hazard setting support is pretty good on this team. The removal is an issue though, because it's only two defog mons that don't really like running defog too much.
Yeah, Finny doesn't love. I also think because I think the Smithy train does actually support this team because there's not a lot of like basically hazards spreading on this team, so it probably benefits them to like block T-Wave, Toxic, that sort of stuff. But yeah, Finny doesn't want to run defog, and Lando's your main is a bit weird. I'll also say this: the pivoting is not great on this team.
Yeah, it's basically U-turn Lando. And if anybody's wondering why I'm not mentioning a mon, it's a fake mon.
I will say this: Hydrapple does get Draco.
Yes. I've done this with every Zero Aura team. I'm just now mentioning them on.
I can mention it's fine here.
I love that it's spread. I love that it's spread. I was literally the only one shit talking it for like 4 seasons in a row, and now it's just spread like a plague.
No,
I feel
no one else hated them on.
No, I've always hated them on because I thought its stats are spread badly. Basically.
Monkey should have been the first electric fighting type.
I think Pure Electric's fine. I don't know. It fits on his team, so he'll be okay. That's what I'll say.
Still a fake mon in my eyes, though.
Yeah.
He got it because he's actually going to use it, and the entire point is just going to be like, how much can my Lando do? But
if anyone can make it with 10.
Talking about electric types real quick, I do have to call out Ray real quick because he did say he would draft Terra Electivire last season. He did not because he missed the deadline, and he didn't pick it up when he took over a team, and now he still hasn't drafted it. I remember this.
Ray didn't, so
Obviously, Ray does not. So you need to bring that back up with him.
Well,
It's
we'll
clearly
see
you
it
don't
in
give a
the PRs if you watch these. Anyways,
Ray focus on taking us to chat titles.
yeah. I do think the support is the weakest part of this team. While there is knockoff support and there's hazard support, there is not a lot of support otherwise. Like, obviously there's screens, but like, what else is there? Like, okay, you can maybe spread a little status, but there's no wish support, there's no real momentum support. Your removal is pretty ass, so if you could somehow improve these things a little, I think this team would be a lot higher on the list.
I have to say, I'm honest. I am honestly surprised it made it this high. It's not a bad team, but it has a lot of flaws.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the stud Ray at number 10. And at number 9 we have Order, which his freak meter is Missionary out of 100. I can probably guess why Emilio said Missionary here, because this is like, I think the 8th time I've seen Order draft E-Terrain.
I think you're underestimating how many times he drafts E-Terrain. It's at least the 18th.
This man is the penis of E-Terrain. Anyways.
That's just a weird phrase.
That is a weird phrase, yes.
He loves E-Terrain more than Emilio loves penis.
Yeah.
Okay, that I'm not sure.
One thing to mention, Order has made changes after week 1. He has dropped Colossal, Gliscor, Seismitoad, and Eldegoss for Mega Sceptile, Terra Iron Thorns, Volbeat, and Excadrill.
Some interesting changes.
Yes.
I mean, Terra Iron Thorns could be fun.
Yeah, but why the fuck you're dropping Gliscor is a good question.
Yeah, dropping Gliscor for Excadrill just feels a bit out of place on this team.
Yeah.
No, we're doing the team as it is now.
Anyways, yeah, we're doing the team as it is now, and for the basics, you're missing Ghost, Bug, Dragon, and Normal. For Ghost types, you have enough switch-ins to Fighting and to Normal for it to not be an issue. Not having a Normal type is a little bit of an issue because your Dark type is also your main Terran Pokemon in Iron Jugulis. And oftentimes you're going to Terra out of the Dark typing.
Yeah, so Ghost Spam is very free into this team.
Yeah. And Bug is not necessary, and Dragon also not necessary, while, again, it's nice because elemental resistances and all, it's not necessary per se. Speed tiers wise, there is no huge gap, except from 60 to 30, but it's not an important gap. Because, like, most of the mons in those tiers don't run speed anyways.
Wow, this is a team of all time.
Yeah. For the
We saw this
offensive
team last
core. I've talked to this about Roy, because Roy was wondering why I ranked the offensive core as shitty as I did, because otherwise it would have been like an 8 or above. I ranked it, I think, like a 7 or a 6.5, because while the special offense is very good, you have Iron Bundle in Terrain, you have Tapu Koko, you have Iron Jugulis in E-Terrain, you have Iron Crown in E-Terrain. The physical offense relies a lot on Sneasler.
And to be fair, this might be why he changed the team, because Iron Thorns does help with that.
Excadrill
that might be why he changed the team.
I don't think Excadrill for Gliscor was the move. But anyways,
no, I don't think it is, but I think that's why he probably changed it, to be fair, because it was a bit of a physically.
Because while Coco can run physical sets, it is more known for like the special or supportive sets these days. And outside of that, like, there is Sword Stance Gliscor sets, there is physical offensive Seismitoad sets, but are they really coming on this team is the other thing. So it's mostly just Sneasler on the physical offense.
I mean, the amount of times I've seen weeks of flying spam, it might have come, to be fair.
I mean, yeah. But then you could also just run Acrobatic Sneasler. Anyways, yeah. The special offense I really like. The physical offense I don't like because it's, again, very reliant on Sneasler. For the defense. For defensive mons on this team, we have the Gliscor, the Seismitoad, the Colossal, the Eldegoss, and Iron Crown as well. I would count as a defensive mon on this team, so I think the defense is pretty good. There's obviously a big ground type weakness considering this is an E-Terrain team, but you have 2 flying types and a grass type to nullify that, so otherwise, like, there's no huge weakness except for, as we've mentioned before, the ghost type if you Terra the Jugulis. So I do think the defense works pretty well, although there is no reliable recovery except for like Regen, Eldegoss, and Gliscor. The others don't recover at all.
Yeah, Coco.
Yeah, but I didn't count Coco as like a necessarily defensive mon because it's more like a supportive mon in my eyes.
Fair. Just general recovery monies there, because I feel like the standard set is just T-Bolt, Gleam, U-Turn, Roost.
Yeah. Sometimes you run dual screens, sometimes you run like terrain extender bullshit. Yeah. And then for the support, obviously there's E-Terrain support to support this whole team. Like what are mons that do, like the defensive mons are the mons that do not benefit from the E-Terrain really. The rest, like Iron Bundle likes E-Terrain, Coco likes E-Terrain, Sneasel likes E-Terrain, Iron Jugulis, and Iron Crown all like E-Terrain. The rest couldn't care less if E-Terrain was there really.
Yeah.
Then for knockoff ones, Iron Jugulis doesn't really run knockoff, but the other 2 can fit it. Although Gliscor has 4 move slot syndrome, so sometimes can fit it.
That's like one part of the problem here is that like Gliscor is like, because it's a more offensively team, Gliscor is very forced into doing a lot, and it's a good mon to like fill those roles, but it still like there are weeks where you might not be able to protect or roost just because you need Gliscor both to be like Nog, U-Turn, Earthquake, and Hazard, for example.
Yeah, and then the momentum and the hazard support is great here. I think also the removal is pretty good here because I think Coco, like if you really are in a pinch, Coco or Gliscor can run defog, but I think like Colossal is a reliable spinner with Terra, and Eldegoss is like a good backup. But the hazard setting especially and the momentum is very good in my opinion.
I wouldn't call it good. I would call it passable, just because of. I mean, Cole kind of needs Terra, and that means you're not tearing Jugulis. And Jugulis doesn't need Terra, but like Terra is what makes it threatening here.
Yeah.
And Eldegoss is also like very matchup dependent, like, and also extremely passive.
Yeah.
I will say this as well in this team because it does also love having like electric terrain up. You don't really want defog if you can help it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe I think like the Excadrill change can be nice in the sense that you have a spinner that can click that reliably without having to Terra. But I'm generally not the biggest fan of the Excadrill change. Like I think Gliscor is more important to this team than that. But anyways, outside of that, you don't have Wish support, which is I think fine because like your main defensive Pokemon again is Gliscor, and it gets natural recovery with Toxic Heal or Roost. And yeah, outside of that, like you have screens, you can spread some stuff like T-Wave or Toxic on this team, so I think it's pretty fine. I think a little underrated in support, but anyways. This is Order's team at number 9. Which brings us to our number 8 team, Spike, who gets Sneaky Link out of 100 on the Freak Meter. Why the fuck it's Sneaky Link out of 100, I don't know. But anyways.
Link, bro.
Thank you, Spike.
Thank you, Spike.
Thank you, Spike. Anyways, typings-wise, for the basics, he's only missing a Ghost type, which he has enough switch-ins to Fighting type, but only one normal type switch-in, which is Sizzle, which is, to be fair, a good one, but could be a little better, but I think it's fine here. Speed tiers-wise, there is no huge gaps, except for like 65 to 80, so some months like Raging Bolt will run Modest and stuff, but
I mean, they were likely running modest either way.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I think it's generally pretty fine with the basics. Offensive core, physically we have Cinderace, we have some niche Thundurus sets, niche Hydreigon sets, with Great Tusk, Scizor, and for the special sites we have Thundurus, we have Hydreigon, and Primarina. Vileplume can hit pretty hard as well, and Mesprit, of course, with the mystical power, I think it's what the move is called.
Yeah, I
And
think that's what it's
plot sets can be good.
And also with Terra, it can become a bit of a threat as well.
Yeah. While I do like the Terra Mesprit, I don't know why the fuck you picked up Terra Miltank, because I don't think there's a reason to Terra Miltank.
I think the reason they've probably done it is because it costs the same amount of points as it is as a Mon. But as Miltank's being a stan in Gen 8, in Gen 9, I don't think it keeps up. Even with Terra, I think it struggles a bit. Happy for him to prove me wrong, though, because I want to see Miltank thrive.
Yeah.
I think it has its matchups, and especially I think it's fine with Terra because especially like the big thing that obviously the thing that like pulls it apart from other like Pokemons is its speed.
Yeah, it's a bulky Pokemon with speed, and it's even like semi-threatening, because while its attack stat is only 80, it's still like the body slams are still hitting semi-hard, and like obviously you don't want to risk the para. Also has reliable recovery.
If it didn't have reliable recovery, it would be garbage.
Yeah. For the defensive core, it is Miltank, it is Great Tusk, Mesprit, Scizor, Prim, and Vileplume. Hydreigon can also run like niche defensive sets if you want to. The only two monsters that don't necessarily run bulky sets are Cinderace and Thundurus. The rest can run bulky sets if really needed to. So I think for the defensive side it's pretty good. There's like obviously like some weaknesses that are exploitable, like the flying type weakness is pretty huge. You're only switching as Thundurus, which is not necessarily known for its bulk. And as mentioned before, like your only normal type switching is Scizor. And then for the support, we have reliable knockoff, and I think every single Mon can run knockoff. Even Thundurus on some sets can run knockoff. You have a very, very good amount of momentum. You have very good removal because you have the best spinner in the game, arguably. And then you have 3 Mons that can run defog if necessary. I do think the hazards, while you have a lot of good rock setters, you don't have spikes or T-spikes, which can, especially in Gen 9, sometimes be a hindrance. But I think it's fine. You also have Healing Wish on Mesprit in like pinch situations where you need it. So I would say in general this team's support is also pretty good. It could be better, like obviously a Wish Passer to help Tusk stay more alive, and the Mesprit would be nice, but I think Scizor, Miltank, and Hydreigon getting recovery helps.
I also will say this as well. Healing Wish is a fun tech move, and you also do have Heal Bow on Miltank.
Yeah.
But I do like the defoggers, because I look at all those 3 Mons, Scizor, Hydreigon, and Thundurus, they all don't want to run defog all the time, but they're all 3 good backup defoggers, and like free backup defoggers is more than enough with Tusk.
Yeah, it's basically just like Tusk is running spin, like it wants to run spin almost every week. But if for some reason you want a different set, like if you want like the booster speed Tusk set, that means you have like 1 out of Scizor, Thundia, and Hydreigon can probably fit it each week.
Yeah,
but like you just don't like Tusk is at its best when it's clicking spin for the speed boost, and like as an offensive ones, like most weeks you don't care.
Yeah. I think this team in general works pretty well as it is. I think I especially like the momentum on this team to get everything in more often than not. I do think that there's like some stuff that is like pretty nice. For example, like I think the Mesprit Terra is works very well on this team. And then of course like you have some monsters that work in niche mashups like the Vileplume. But I think like generally every Mon could, except like Miltank and Vileplume, could come every week and you couldn't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a good part, but it doesn't like The worst one is between Miltank and Vileplume, and that's a good worst one to have. Like some teams just has like a garbage bottom, which means like you don't have to prep for like half the months, but here like you kind of have to prep for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, every month even Vileplume's underrated in the right matchups, and I've seen like it do work.
I wouldn't even call it underrated. I would just call it good. Like period.
Yeah.
Like not even in certain matchups, just like I think it could be underrated. Like that to me at least, that's just like a good mon.
Yeah, it's definitely a good mon. In some matchups, it obviously cannot come, but like in general, like it is like pretty good at like handling some big threats. Like for example, a lot of the times the Urshifus kind of struggle, like especially the Rapid Strike version struggles into Vileplume a lot.
Yeah, especially for fans.
Like a lot of like offensive water and fighting types have fight and like pivot spammers, or no, I mean like U-turn knock spammers find Vileplume annoying.
Yeah, but yeah, that is Spike at number 8, which brings us to our number 7, Baby Dragon's Art, aka Taco. And before I get into this team, I will call Taco a fraud. He knows why.
For context, Taco was doing a bet basically where he would draft all mons under 13 points and below, and he couldn't make it work. He even tried to change the bet, adding Weavile to the team as well.
No, he could have.
I see.
He could have made it work if he wanted to. He was just like, oh, but Claude's too good this season. I like kind of want to compete, and then he just said, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bets are for wusses anyway.
So let's
get the right thing.
Let's get over the typings that are here. So for the typings, he's not missing any necessary typing except Dark. I do think Dark is a pretty necessary typing. For one, it helps with Ghost Spam, and for two, obviously the immunity to Psychic type moves. While you have 2 good Psychic type switches in Slowking and Tinkaton, your only Ghost type switch is Megalopunny, which is not necessarily known to be very defensive.
Especially when basically every single ghost has Wisp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taco's gonna have to run Facade Megalopunny every week.
Bruh.
Yeah, that'd be sad.
Yeah. By the way, the Freak meter is Freakzillion, because Emilio adores Taco. Yeah.
I mean, also because Taco or Bitsard is like one of the biggest freaks I know.
Yeah.
I mean, also they've got a Megalopunny, so that just kind of just makes sense.
Yeah. The offensive core is pretty good. You have Megalopunny, you have Terra Lycanroc Dusk, which is an amazing breaker. Then Kyurem and Mudsdale can also hit very hard on the physical side. Then for the special side, a little bit weaker, but still pretty good. You have Kyurem, you have Moltres, you have Rotamo, Slowking, and even like Nasty Plug patch run sets if you really want to. So I do think this team hits
especially with
hard.
Hex support.
Yeah.
Like if you get status, if you status everything, Hex is doing a shit ton of damage.
Yeah. So I do think the offense is very good on this team. For the defense, it's also pretty good because the top 3 are like the designated offensive Pokemon, and everything below the top 3, like Megalop, Lycan, and Kyurem, everything underneath that can run a defensive set very well. And there's also no too big weaknesses except for like obviously the Ghost one as mentioned, only switch in being Megalopunny, which is prone to Wisps. And then you have enough for ground types technically because you have a Levitator and a Flyer. So I think it's fine. Because even like Mold Breaker will not be too bad into the Rotom because it's neutral to ground.
I will say this: Mudsdale can cover a few holes on this team. Terra Mudsdale is actually quite good defensive captain here.
Yeah, I think so too. Although I think the primary Terra captain of the team is definitely Lycan Dusk.
Oh, for sure. But there'll be like 1 or 2 matchups where you can bring it like a weird type on like Mudsdale to basically cover. Like bring it Terra Dark, for example, if he's really struggling with sword power sets and that sort of shit.
Yeah. And then for the support, for the support, it's a little weaker. Hazard support is obviously only rocks. You don't have any spikers or T-spikers. Again, as mentioned on Spike's team, I think it was. In Gen 9, you really like to have at least 1 spiker and 1 T-spiker. Removal is also only defog, so even if you're setting up your rocks, if you want to get rid of hazards that are on your side, you need to click defog. Momentum is pretty okay. You have Chili/Teleport on Slowking, you have U-Turn on Lopunny, you have Volt Switch on the Rotomo, and U-Turn on the Moltres. Could it be better? Yes. But you also have like Parting Shot patch, so I think it's pretty fine. Another big thing that is missing from the support, though, you only have one knockoff mon, which is the Petromant. No, not the Petromant, the Tinkaton. Sorry.
I would say the support is really kind of hard carried by Tinkaton.
Yeah, Tinkaton definitely hard carry support because not too much hazard support, not too much removal support, decent enough momentum support, and then like Patch carry, Patch and I think Tink carry the hard low because obviously Malignant Chain bullshit is also a form of support.
Yeah.
You also have like
Playboy
resets
Bros
like
as well.
Heal Bell, Encore, or Healing Wish on Mega Lopunny, but sometimes you just can't fit those moves.
I will say this: Mega Lopunny can sometimes run a fault for me, but often you are running like U-turn, you're running return, you're running fake out or quick attack, you're running close combat or triple axle, so you don't really have room to fit Heal Bell or Encore in most matchups, or even Healing Wish. I think he gets.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the screen. Go me.
But yeah, Zeb, Aaron, any thoughts about this team?
I am honestly surprised it made it that high. Maybe like we overrated a bit on like offensive and defensive core, but it's still like fairly solid. I don't think it's anything that outstanding about, but most of the teams just like fairly solid.
Yeah.
It's just Clodsire, bro. Yeah, like I think it's definitely the most competitive it's been in a while. And pretty much every team is gonna look at least semi-competent.
Yeah.
Obviously, you like different hazards. Obviously, there's like a few little things, but it's always gonna be really annoying to face Terra Lycan, Kyurem, and Lop. Like offensively, I really don't think there's gonna be a person who can handle all three of them in a matchup.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point of the team, is to
Yeah.
like get them in, pull some shit out of your ass.
Yeah, and Terra Lycan's probably one of the best offensive Terras allowed.
Oh yeah. Allowed? I think it might be the best. I like what else? A lot of the other top Terras are more defensive abusers. No, like they like to set up off it. Lycan's
Yeah.
just the biggest raw damage output Terra Captain allowed. I think. I'll double check.
Let me
Maybe,
look
yeah.
at it real quick.
There's like,
you,
I think
no, you could argue
no.
Terra Mamoswine is stronger. Because Terra
Yeah,
Mamoswine doesn't
but
really have a safe
okay.
switching.
But Lycan doesn't either, and its speed tier is better off
Yeah.
it. And its priority is also better, I think.
Yeah.
So like Memo, the Terra can get you value defensively as well. So I
Yeah.
think it's a better captain.
But straight up
I think
offensively,
Lycan's
yeah,
the
you could
highest
argue
output,
it is
yeah.
definitely.
Other than
Lycan.
maybe like Belly Drum Terra Azu Water. Like I don't think there's anything else that really
Maybe
outputs the same damage.
Haxorus, but that's also a little bit of a reach, maybe.
It's it's the tough claws bonus. Really. Yeah. That makes the difference there.
Like it's already like a pseudo fighting type when you actually get stabbed alongside Tough Claws. Then
yes.
like those CC hurts.
Even Tough Claws priority with stab is fucking nuts. Like
yeah,
like genuinely. You can just run Terra Rock, Cell Rock with sword stance, and you will nick some teams.
Because there's some teams we've seen that are super weak to Rock as well.
Yeah,
it's a common typing to be weak to.
To be fair, Rock is a very great offensive typing.
It's hard to form a team that's not weak to it.
Yeah, because like if your steel or your ground is like there's a lot of good like steel flying or like ground flying types.
Yeah, like Corvus Storm, yeah. There's a lot of overlap, like dual typing.
This is why I will say this. This is why Ben is nearly always weak to Rampardos.
Yes.
True, but we're not actually talking about Rampardos. We're talking about the nuclear bomb with Tough Claws, the Cell Rock. So,
but yeah, Taco at number 7, which brings us to number 6, which is Zeb, who gets Smigma out of 10.
I will say, the rankings of the numbers are without mine, with mine, would have been very different.
Yeah.
I'm sad that they took away mine. It should have been much higher.
Yeah.
If mine are not allowed to be on mine, so I'm not bottom, then yours are not allowed either.
Feel free to just like review my team, and I can talk about it at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me go through the team. So for basics, what typings are we missing? We're missing normal, fire, grass, fighting, bug, rock, and ghost. The only ones you could call necessary are ghost and normal, maybe. For ghost types, so you have enough fighting type switch-ins for it not to be a problem, and you have a very good normal type switch-in in our Chalodon, so I don't think that's a real issue. Not having a normal type though, you kind of have an issue with that because your dark type is Alolan Persian.
Mm.
Yeah, I can quickly say the reason it's my dark is because I desperately needed to fill the speed gap between between Scoot and Chomp, and also
Okay.
dark type.
Yeah, I guess.
Low-key,
And
kind of version.
it's not great, but I think it's still like a pretty usable dark type.
Yeah, but
It's
if you look
fine.
on everything that is on this team, Persian rarely fits unless you're like facing a very strong ghost type, I think.
I mean, that's
Also,
why
Fairy,
it's much for.
It is kind of a rain team.
Fairy Slam is good into as well.
It's almost
as
like he's
much
gonna
as you're
slam
only
his archetype
switching.
into the fucking wall, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
For speed gaps, no big speed gap that is very necessary to mention. So I think in general, I think the basics are pretty fine. Of course, you could have stocked up on some typings better, but yeah. For the offensive core, physically we have Barraskewda, Garchomp, Swampert Mega, and then also we have technically some Archaludon sets with like Stamina Body Press, and like
SD.
SD, yeah. Then there's some Curse Mach sets that can be ran technically. And for the special side, we have Zapdos, we have Archaludon, we have Hatterene, and I would also call Pelipper strong on offense, at least in rain.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the offense works very well. Of course, it's better in rain than it is outside of rain, but I think it's still pretty good. Like you can even you even have a decent offense outside of rain with like Hatterene and Garchomp especially. So I think it's pretty fine.
Yeah.
The defense, of course, where some issues come. Obviously, like as mentioned before, the ghost type weakness is a little bit of an issue because your dark type again is the Alolan Persian, which isn't a non-mon, but it is also not a great mon. And then like for fairy type switch-ins, your only fairy type switch-in is Muck, which is a good fairy type switch-in, don't get me wrong, but also kind of a mon sometimes hard to fit. And then
Yeah.
Then like
I will say I'm almost surprised that offensive core isn't higher and defensive core isn't lower. It's an offensive rain team. Like it's it has a good like compared to some of the other teams. I almost feel like 8's too low for offense, and like defense you're gonna also are too high because like even just the mons like you said without rain like Chomp, Zapdos, even Barraskewda and Pert are still good, and then in rain it just becomes monstrous.
I think I did, to be fair, rank the offensive core at 9. I think I did rank the defensive core 6, if I remember correctly. So I definitely lean towards where you're going. Like the team has a purpose. The purpose is I'm going to run you over unless you stall me out with sunny day and PP stall me mode, basically.
Yeah.
On support.
Yeah, on to support, which obviously we have Rain supporting most of the team, and even a mon like Garchomp kind of likes to Rain because Garchomp gets like liquidation, which in Rain actually becomes a very hard hitting move for Garchomp. Then we have Monster can reliably run knockoff. Pelipper sometimes doesn't fit it because like Pelipper likes U-turn, it likes Roost, it likes Hurricane Scald, it likes Defog. So sometimes hard to fit, but
Weather Ball.
yeah, sometimes hard to fit, but I think like in niche situations it can run it. You also have a mon that is workable in Trick Room in the Hatterene, so you don't get railed by Trick Room. Then you have Healing Wish on Hatterene, which also helps with some of the mons, especially like the Archalodon, getting it back online after the Hatterene leaves on 1%.
Wonder where that happened.
Wonder where that happened. Then Momentum is also pretty solid. Like, you have a good amount of U-turn mons, you have flip turn mons, and even Baton Pass on Hatterene. Hazard Setting is also pretty good. Like, Arch and Swampert can sometimes fit the rocks, and Garchomp obviously a very good rocks and spike setter, and then T-Spikes on Muk can also be coming sometimes. Removal is kind of ass. While you have a great Defogger and Zapdos and Pelipper, you don't really have Spin, which is kind of a negative considering how good your Hazard Setting is. With
Don't
Garchomp.
forget Hatterene.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that my removal is great, but that is why I drafted Hatterene. Is that so that like on this team,
honestly, yeah, honestly, I don't. I probably could do one spinner, I guess, but honestly, like Hatterene plus Pelipper plus Zapdos is fine. I would like another backup, so Zapdos doesn't have to run it sometimes, but Pelipper's running it most weeks.
Yeah,
and like Hatterene is on this team, it's kind of just made to throw it in front of like a hazard bot, maybe click like Nuzlocke, maybe click Baton Pass, Healing Wish, die, and then sacrifice to get a Barkley run again. That's or like Garchomp or Zapdos. Yeah, that's what it's running most weeks.
Especially on an AV set, you're going to run Healing Wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think the team overall works pretty well. I think one thing that is to mention, it maybe some more pieces that work very good outside of Rain. Because, like, outside of Rain, like, Garchomp and Hatterene work very well, and then, like, Zapdos too can work outside of Rain. Archalodon kind of wants the Rain. Swampert, Mega, and Barraskewda kind of want the Rain. And then, like, obviously you have like, your low tier, so if any gripe, that's maybe the gripe, and maybe a better Ghost resist.
Yeah, like, I don't necessarily disagree. Like, I always wanted Rain, like, even before the season started, and I wanted to try and make like a Rain team that's not super aligned, but then I ended up with like Chomp making it to me, and it's not like a traditional Rain mon, but I thought like I got Chomp like late round 1. You just have to pick it, I think, and then obviously the rest just kind of fell into place with like it is mostly like a very Rain reliant, but it's not completely reliant. It's not. Like, because of mons like Chomp and Zapdos and to a certain extent Hatterene, they're still, like, if Rain goes down, then suddenly you're faced with ST Skill Shot Chomp, and that doesn't need Rain to function.
Yeah, so I think the team can work outside of Rain. Like, again, a few more pieces would have been nice, but I think the team is constructed well enough.
Yeah. I think the biggest one is obviously just I ran out of points, obviously.
Yeah. And I do think, again, Garchomp in Rain is pretty underrated, because a lot of mons, like for example Gliscor, which normally tries to take on a Garchomp, suddenly just gets hit by a Liquidation in Rain.
Yeah. Like a lot of the traditionally bulky grounds that doesn't wall chomp, but can still like check like Mudstale or like Landos.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
Suddenly get bonked on the head.
Yeah.
Aaron, any thoughts to Zeb's team?
Rain team. Wow. Look at it go. It's fucking raining outside. I'm staring at a Rain team on the dock. Fucking miserable. Have fun, Zeb. No one else is gonna have fun.
It's not raining over here in the UK.
Yeah, it's fucking raining here.
It's also raining here.
It's also not. It's not raining here.
I wanted to
Go.
go sit outside, and guess what? It's fucking raining.
Anyways, that is Zeb. Strike him down at number 6. At number 5, we have Emperor Ari, Sully said False Pope.
Why do we care what Sully says?
With the freak meter condom out of 100.
Also, I'd like to say we allowed Amelia to put the word smegma on a fucking slide. I just want it to be known we overlooked it, but
I don't even know what that means. To be fair, if I knew, I would let it slide.
Yep.
I know what it means.
You should look it up.
We're
I
not
advise
a lot- we're
anyone
not
under
alone
the age
yet.
of 18 to not look it up during the video. But if just for Benjamin should look it up real quick.
I don't really
No,
want to
I'm
look it
sorry.
up how you are saying it.
Just
No, it's fine. It's fine.
acknowledge
It's
it
just gonna
for
be a
a
new word for you. That's all.
reason. And I'd also like to point out Ben wrote the slide, so Ben wrote about calling Sully said false pope. So
No, that was Roy.
definitely not me. I didn't write anything on the
Roy
slides.
acting like he doesn't have access to the doc.
I would never edit any of the slides on these at all, ever.
No, never. You never change anything.
Oh, that's what Smegma. What the fuck, Emilio?
Yeah, dude, like,
Small
I
team,
was
yeah.
wondering why you didn't say it, but like, I was like, man, he actually let that go. That's crazy.
I didn't know what
Those
it meant.
images are
Now I
wrong.
do. What the fuck, Emilio?
Saw a picture or two.
No, I didn't. I didn't look at a picture. I just read what
Click
the fuck it
images.
means.
Click images.
No, I do not want to click images. Not after what I read. What the fuck it is?
Guys, that's going to be the thumbnail for the video. It's going to be a picture of that.
Yes, our thumbnail is just gonna be a picture. Yeah, of course, Roy.
Anyways, on to Emperor Ari. For the basics, they're actually not missing a single typing. They have every typing, some twice even.
Okay, let's really inspect this though. Let's inspect which typings are real and not real.
That's a very good point.
Normal type
Mm.
is Clodcire, so real. Fire type.
See,
is...
he's even covered for the argument that Charger Bug is a fake electric and got in the Rotom.
Yeah.
And then he's also covered for the fake ghost type and the Typhlosion and got the Rotom. So he's I don't know if it was the goal, but he accomplished it.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, you'd say bug, but Charger Bug, like bug is like
It's more of a
the
bug than
least
a
needed
electric,
typing, so
right?
Charger Bug is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think every typing has a good representation. Let's get to the speed tiers though. Looking at it, there is no gap that is really to mention except maybe the one between 61 and 80. But again, not too many
Yeah.
ones in that gap that will really abuse it.
Celestia can actually run speed sometimes.
Especially
Especially if you're
on
in
Autonomize.
Meteor B.
Okay. Now then, to the offense. Physically, we have niche Gren sets, we have shift niche Clodcire sets, we have Mega Gallade, we have Mamoswine, we have Celesteela, and we have Diancie. Specially, we have Gren again. Then we have Typhlosion Hisui, we have Rotom, we have Celesteela, and Diancie again. Special offense, a little lacking. I think physical offense is definitely a lot better. But I think it is fine with where it is because Gren can carry a lot of special offense very well, and there's a Terra Typhlosion which can do some work.
And also, Terra Diancie can do a lot of work, especially and physically as well.
Yeah.
Then for the defensive core, if we look at the team and look for what are like actual defensive monsters, there's Amoonguss, there's Diancie, there's Celesteela, which you could call like actual defensive mons. The rest are more support or offensive mons. Charger Bug can technically like be a specific wall to like some electric types if you really needed to, but yeah. And then for support, you have 3 good knockoff clickers. You have a somewhat trick room mode for Diancie. You have okayish momentum. You have 2 U-turners, 1 volt switcher, and technically teleport Gallade and Baton past Diancie. Hazard setting is pretty decent as well. Like, you have Rocks on Memo or Diancie, they can swap for who can run it, the weak and who can. And then spikes the Diancie can run, and Gren sometimes can run these spikes or the T-spike. And then obviously Sticky Web is there with the Charger Bug. Removal is a little weak because while the Rotom can run default, Clodcire obviously is a very good spinner. It's I think sometimes not enough. But yeah, that's basically the assessment of the team. Now you can start rambling.
I mean, PRs are just rambling. So, yeah, I agree. Like, there is one downside of... I don't know if any of the hazard mons want to click their... like, Mamo wants to be offensive. Diancie often wants to coal mine stuff. Gren is a good
Gren is actually
like
somehow
spiker,
the best
but it's
hazard setter. I don't understand.
but it still doesn't love clicking it. Like there's enough options that you have. You have months that can bring it every week, but it does kind of force your, especially your Diancie, kind of like forced away from the best sets in my opinion, which is like the call mine offensives or like bulky call mine sets.
Like Terra
The biggest
Water
problem
and
with the
stuff.
team is the pivoting. Like the pivoting and also the removal. Toxel's good, but I think you want another mon as well that's a good remove. And Rotom, just Rotom. If it had Terra, I actually wouldn't hate the idea of like Rotom actually with like basically as a backup defogger because you can do some fun stuff with Terra with it. But Cyclosar and like a Ghost is not the best. And then the pivoting is a bit.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
like-
this team is above the rain team. I'll be honest. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm looking at it and I'm not really sure how the all-in Magic Bounce rain team is not going to rank higher than this. There's a
I
few other
agree.
teams
I
that
think the
rank
rating's
above
definitely
this.
better. To be fair.
Yeah,
I mean,
Like,
but
I'm
yeah, the
staring
numbers
at
can
it
be a bit
and I'm
arbitrary
like-
at times.
Yeah, obviously when you add up the numbers and then you compare the other teams, it looks a little weird and you're like, oh, really? It should have been up here, but
I mean, they're both 29. The reason Ari's team is above is how I've done it for like the past few PRs is whoever has the higher basic gets the higher rating, and Ari was that in that case.
like Memo should have been Terra. Like
Yeah,
I
agreed.
understand Diancie is really, really cool. It is great at doing what it does as Terra. But I think the Memo with Terra here would have been fucking wicked.
I don't disagree that Mammoths are good, but I think Diancie had to be Terra. I don't think non-Terra
Well, with how
Diancie
the
is
rest of
very
the team is
good.
composed. Yeah, well, okay. With how the rest of the team is composed, you are required to Terra the Diancie, yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying
In
like
that
you
case,
should have
yeah.
gone Gallade, Gren, Terra Memo, Celesteela, Amoonguss, built the rest of the team. Like
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm not saying like, oh, keep the team the same and swap the Terra off, because then like your Typhlosion's useless without the Terra. Like
Yeah.
I understand. It's just like I'm looking at it and I don't really agree
Yeah.
with how some of the team was compiled. But it's still fine. Like every Clod team is fine.
Yeah. I
Just
think
wanna
this
have
team
the rain.
also has like some things that could be fixed a little bit. While I think Amoonguss is like obviously a great a great mon with regen, the other like core defensive pieces don't really get recovery. So like maybe a Wish Passer would be nice, especially for something like the Yancy, which basically if you're running it with Terra Combat is a mon that goes all
It's gonna be
in
DKS.
or dies basically.
It's gonna be DKS though.
Draining Kiss helps.
Yeah.
It's one of the best sets for a reason. I mean, you're really just gonna be stored power, DKS, body press. Like that. Those are the only 3 moves you'll run on that mon if it's running the setup.
Yeah, I guess so.
And also, like, Steel Leech Seed either, like, for itself or even for others.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
it
least
can be
will be a
quite
little annoying.
nice.
For sure. I don't think it will reliably heal anything, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, more like just a nice bonus.
yeah.
Yeah, I think with if you're not running like if with how this team is composed, Diancie sometimes might have to run like the straight up defensive Terra set, and that's why I mentioned the Wish passing because on the Calm Mind set it obviously doesn't need the Wish because it has DKs, but on like the straight up defensive set, which on this team it sometimes might need to be, the Wish passing would be quite nice.
That's fair, yeah.
But I think in general this team can work pretty well.
It's still fun.
Yeah, I do think
Yeah,
this
it's the sort of thing.
the special offenses might be a little bit of an issue, like the immediate special offense. Because while I like Gren, it is either reliant on having like an offensive item or like the boost from the battle bond sometimes.
I mean, when I look at it and you're running down the mons that are going to be clicking special moves, you have like the Meteor being Selly set, you have like the Gren. Those are 2 really good ways to get initial power. Cyclozar is always running Overheat and Draco, so I think the base power kind of ups the amount of damage it can do. Kind of so, like, I guess it's matchup dependent. And then there's the Typhlosion. And that's really it. I mean, Diancie also has
Yeah,
moves,
but when you like look at the special offense, do you see any mon where you would immediately call it a nuke?
not Gren with Life Orb and Battle Bond. Would be
Yeah.
a nuke for sure.
Typhlosion in the right matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
have a good
Typhlosion
fire resist,
can be
Terrifier Eruption.
a
But
nuke.
I mean, you could have saved points getting regular Typhlosion, but I'm sure there's a reason.
I think the ghost is nice
Yeah.
to have. Like
It
I'm
can
just not
also
really sure what
do,
it helps.
it can also do, it
Or
can
do
do
they-
fun
because
stuff
it's
with
the
like
same mon.
Infernal Parade like spam. Like Infernal Parade spam as well can be quite fun in that matchup.
I don't know.
Burning
Like, you're
stuff.
giving up the 100 speed tier, and you're gaining an additional weakness.
I mean, the speed
And I'm
tier
not really
doesn't.
sure what it does. Well,
I mean, it's just
I'm thinking in
additional.
terms of Scarf. That's all. Like the base 100 Scarfers will outspeed you now. You don't even have to
Oh
do
yeah, I
anything
guess. I
with
mean, it's also stronger. That's pretty big.
that. Yeah. But do you need to be stronger when you've already Terrified? Is the question. feel like it's
To
a nuke either
break
way.
through resists sometimes, yes.
I guess I don't know which resist it actually helps with. Like,
Chio.
you said it helped with like a toxic. Okay, yeah, like we care about Chio. If you said if it broke through like a fucking Toxapex or some shit with that extra damage, then I'd be interested. But I'm not sure. If
Yeah,
I'm
I haven't really
interested in
checked the
that
numbers.
stuff.
It's just like
Yeah, I
obviously
know. I know what you
higher
mean, though.
number is better.
Yeah.
I never go, bro.
But yeah, I think like this team can obviously work. I think like with the quality of club teams, it might struggle into somebody. I think like in general it can work definitely.
Yeah, but it's all Cloud's all about like how the person uses it at this point because every team's going to be operatable.
Yeah.
Pretty much every person has a team that can operate. It's
Yeah.
just like even if it's a little quirky, if the person likes using it, it's
I mean, yeah. For example, Fluvi last season, he was ranked dead last in PRs, but made it to finals. So
I mean, a low glow king moment for sure.
yeah. Anyways, let's go to number 4, which is Birban, Quagsire's winner from last season. And his freak meter is 1000 out of 100. I don't know exactly why, but hey, it is there.
Because there's a horse, obviously.
Please don't get into a horse debate, Roy.
no.
Obviously, an
horse
American. Obviously.
Well, if the team wins, it's it's a British horse. If the team loses, it's an American
his
horse.
fucking natural response is if it wins, it's an American horse.
No, it's not. The
You
response
you
America losing. Question: What team won the Euros? What team won the Euros, Aaron? It
Bro,
was
I don't
England.
care.
not
What?
America.
Do you think I care about that? I don't watch horse racing.
No, that wasn't the horse race. That was the women's football. You sexist.
It's the same
England won
thing.
the
What?
Euro.
Athletes
You
are
call it
fucking
women,
horses. They're the
that's
same thing.
sexist. What women?
It's like shadowing a bunch of horses and throwing them at another horse.
We're fucking horses.
Anyways.
All right, well, okay. He's thinking about fucking a horse.
Let's get into the team.
No, you said that. You said
No, I said,
Athletes are
yeah, because there's a horse. And I was kicking up the debate about the
Next
American
time
and
you do a
British horse.
horse related for Aaron, he wants them hung like a horse.
Bro, what?
To say hung like a
move on.
horse because horses have
All
big
right.
dicks.
Grandpa's got dementia. We got to move on.
Anyways, let's get into the team. So typings wise, you're missing normal, electric, ice, and rock. All not too necessary typings. Normal sometimes is, but you have an amazing dark type in Tinglu, so I don't think that's an issue.
yeah, that's a very good like solo dark.
Yeah. And then for speed tiers, no big gaps, nothing really to complain about except for the gap between Heatran and Tinglu. But not too many very like big threat mons that are in those tiers that will run speed.
Yeah, like most of the ones in that speed gap were going like adamant or modest either way.
Yeah, like what mon comes to mind here? Like for example, like a Magnezone will run modest anyway if it's like especially offense. Beware will run adamant anyways. Like these mons will not invest into the positive speed nature most of the time.
I will say Terrible Red does damage to this team. It's not drafted this division though.
Yeah. Then for the offensive core, physically we have Urshifu Rapid Strike, Regidraco, and Tinglu. And especially we have Spectrier, we have Regidraco again, Heatran, and Reuniclus with Terra. I do think the special offense is a lot better than the physical one, but you have a beautiful synergistic combination of Spectre plus Urshifu Rapid Strike.
I mean, yeah, it's just the standard spec plus good fighter. Like, at this point, it's just what you do with spec if you draft well.
Yeah, if you grab spec or even like a Dragapult, you pair a good fighting type with those most of the time.
Mm.
I do think like the physical offense could be improved a lot because like the only immediate hard hitter is like Urshifu Rapid. Of course, Regideco after like a Dragon Dance is very threatening. Like a Tinglu with a choice band can be threatening, but like, how often are you really running that? Let's be real.
Yeah.
Scarf Eruption, Heatran, Spidops, Regidraco, Rapid.
Did you just say
Spectre? This is
Spidops?
pretty good, Rupper.
He did say Spidops.
Did I stutter?
You said Spidops.
Did I stutter?
Okay.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Okay.
Spidops. That's how I prove you wrong.
Okay, let's see a choice band Spidops first impression.
First Corviknight he puts it as, I guarantee it. He's like, oh, let's see how much the Spidops does to the Corviknight, Aaron.
Okay, give me anything that's neutral to bug that's a good defensive Pokemon. Ferrothorn.
Oh. But what?
Yeah, you know he's right.
What?
I'm going with 33%.
Choice.
Ah, yes. Ferrothorn.
Hey, it's neutral.
The maker break. Let's choose the fucking neutral steel type with a 131 defense stat.
Okay, give me a different one.
Anything else, bro? What? Fine. Actually, I'll calc the Ferrothorn. Fine. We'll play into your game.
Have it already. Adamant
tank,
choice
no
band,
tank.
max attack. First impression does 33 to 39.
How much does Circle Throw do?
Right. Less.
30 to 35.
Exactly. So it's taken 30% chip and it's off the field.
And then you've also taken a bunch of chip because of Iron Barbs.
Okay, wait, how much is it doing to
Iron Barbs?
How much is it doing to a Spectre?
0 because it's a ghost type.
No, with the first impression, 38 to 45. So.
Doesn't it get throat chop too? Aren't you just gonna get fucking owned?
I guess knockoff.
And throat chop does 91 to 107 to a non-defensive invested or non-HP Spectre.
Me when I bring the Spectre in on the first impression and I get fucking blown up.
He's going to circle throw because I'm going.
I will say, I did actually couple seasons ago. I did lose someone to choice band Spidops.
Yeah, against Ryan.
Because I just
I remember.
Yeah. I switched my Sky. I was just expecting like Hazard, and I want to get my Skyman into Gear Slash.
Yeah.
Anyways,
let's continue.
I do not glaze low tiers like Aaron does.
For the defensive core,
as a liar.
For the defensive core, on the physical side, we have Tinglu Heatran that are like the prolific defensive mons for the physical side, and for the special side, Heatran is there again. Tinglu can also be specially defensive. You could call Reuniclus a good special defensive mon. Tentacruel's obviously there. So I think enough defensive mons to work out pretty well. You also have some like you have some mons that like share weaknesses on the defensive side, but then you also have mons that like can make up for that. For example, like the Whimsicott obviously like taking the moves Heatran cannot take, and the other way around. Although Whimsicott is not too good of a defensive mon, to be fair. And then we get to the support. Obviously, you have a Prankster, Bullshitter, and Whimsicott, which will 6-0 paid.
Yes, this is true.
And
it is run.
The hazard support is amazing. Obviously, you have Tinglu, then you have a Heatran, which can run rocks, and like a T-Spiker in Tentacruel that is reliable, and backup hazards in Spidops with spikes, T-Spikes, and webs. Removal is also pretty good. You have Rapid Spin, Tentacruel. You have Prankster Defog on the Whimsicott. You have a backup defog on Oricorio, although not a good defogger. It can do it, I guess. Momentum support is pretty decent. Like you have Flip Turn and U-Turn on Urshifu and Tentacruel. Then U-Turn Whimsicott, and then Spidops and Oricorio, I guess, also get U-Turn. So.
Yeah. The only like real downside is you don't have bulky pivot. It's mainly just like even your bulky mons like Tenta is still fast, so like it will. It's not often you get your offensive ones in for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you like on a Switch.
Which on the Spectre Urshifu team, I think it would be kind of ideal to have like a bulky slow pivot to just get them in and then start hitting hard. But I think it will be fine because like the rest of the team can take hits pretty well.
Yeah, the only again, it's also like more of a nitpick than an actual problem. It would be nice with Tinglu to get like an actual viable spin blocker because you usually don't want to risk your Spectre. But at the same time, it's still a good pairing just because Tinglu spams hazards for Spec to like sweep at the end, and obviously Tinglu is also like a good dark switching, so it's and go switching, so it's not a problem or like a would be nice if you had one, but it's not necessary.
One thing to mention though about this team, which is I think for this team a bigger issue than for the rest of them, because the other teams like appreciated wish support, but this team could really like wish support because all of the defensive mons except for Uniclus do not get recovery.
I mean, to some extent, yeah, but this isn't really a defensive team. Like it has like basically all of the defensive mons are like almost like utility mons. That this team is like bulky offense. Like it basically just plays for Spectre sweep, and I think it does that pretty well. And it's more like Heatran can be defensive, Tinglu can be defensive, but it's also like they can trade pretty effectively because they're still not like super. They're still like can be threatening offensively despite being defensive at times.
Yeah, but like certain mons that get like for like just in my head, for example, a Mega Galate runs through this team a little bit too hard, so Wish could be pretty nice, but yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fighting weak since you often don't want to switch your Spectre into like the fighting type that often has like knockoff or a secondary step.
Yeah.
Unless you feel ballsy with a prediction, which if you do that fair.
Yeah, but I think in general this team works pretty well, and I think it's drafted very well from Barabon. Like as Zep has mentioned already, this team plays for Urshifu or Spectre to clean up, and this team does it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good team.
Aaron, Roy, any thoughts?
My main thoughts are minus the absolute insanity that was the Spidops choice band set. Reuniclus is a very fun Terra captain, and Reggie Drago will catch the team off guard with a bad fairy type as well.
Well, you kind of forgot to mention that this is two of the best Terra caps.
Yeah.
Or the only negative is that like I'd argue Reggie Drago kind of needs Terra. So like if you bring both Reun and Drago, you most likely know Reggie Drago will Terra, but it's still good because it's two very different mons, so that you have to prep for both still.
Yeah. But yeah, that is Barabon at number 4. And at number 3 we have Mr. Caden Owens, aka Soda Mario, who gets Yawn out of 69 as his freak meter.
Wow.
I said there's nothing appealing.
There's a,
I mean, yeah, I agree.
Anyways, let's get into it. For basics, what typings is he missing? He's missing normal, ice, poison, bug, and ghost. The most crucial typing you're missing here is poison, definitely, because T-spikes will be annoying as fuck into you.
Yeah. The biggest positive is that Corv beats a lot of poisons, or like can switch into a lot of poisons, so it could be worse, but it's still bad because of like just forcing curve in again can make the team look very exploitable.
Yeah.
Torrent or speed. Like
Yeah,
you have to defog to not get DINC or Vaporeon Poison, for example.
Yeah, you have 4 mons that obviously do not care about the poison or actually enjoy it sometimes. Like Corv, Kilo, and Bisharp do not care about T-Spikes. And Breloom can actually benefit from them with Toxic Heal. Poison Heal, or whatever the ability is called. So yeah, that can work in your favor, but most of the time having a grounded poison type is pretty important. You don't have a ghost type, but you have Mew as a fighting type switch, and so that's pretty decent. Kilo is not really a switching because Kilo is paper. And you have enough normal type switches to not be an issue. You also have a very good dark type in Bisharp for the ghost type switch-ins, but you have to
I
be
wouldn't call it
careful.
very good, but it's
well, with Eviolite,
decent.
It's very good on the defensive side with Eviolite. But
yeah,
you have to be careful of Focus Blast because a lot of ghost types do get Focus Blast.
Oh, and Wisp because you need Eviolite, you don't really have the room for love.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually, at least.
Yeah.
Well, I think with it, Bisharp is kind of understandably slapped on a meme done in Gen 9, but with Terra, it's actually a pretty big threat at times.
Yeah.
Either just boost a Dark Stab or Terra Fire to Burr, Terra Ghost for the fighting types, etc.
Yeah, there's also a thing I want to mention later with Bisharp, but I'm gonna get into that when I get to it. One bad the speed tiers are pretty decent, by the way. There's a gap between 70 and 91, which can be a little exploited with some mons, but the rest of the speed tiers are pretty fine.
Yeah, I think the speed tiers work for the most part.
One thing to mention that is pretty bad though, your ground type is Sand Slash.
Yep.
The main positive is at least you have Kilo as an electric immunity, which helps, but it's also still not good because Kilo it's made of paper. Obviously it can still take electric moves, but it cannot take anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-1 predicts going with Kilo and it's basically dead.
Yeah. For the offenses, physically you have Mega Diancie, you have Niche Mew sets, you have Gouging Fire, you have Bisharp, you have Breloom, and you have some Sand Slash Alola sets, and even some Corviknight sets. Especially you have Kilowattrel, Mega Diancie, Mew, and some niche Vaporeon sets. Especially a lot weaker than physically. I think physically it's very good, especially could be a little improved.
It's still pretty good between Diancie and Kilo, but yeah, it could be better.
Yeah. I do like the choice of Terra Kilowattrel and Terra Bisharp as well. Because they both can do very good things on the offensive side with the Terra.
And both don't need Terra to function.
Yeah. For the defensive core, we have, on the defensive side, we have Mew, we have Gouging Fire, we have Bisharp, we have Corviknight, we have Vaporeon, and Sandslash. Some Diancie can take hits in the pre-mega form, and even in the mega form sometimes can take a hit, because the 110 defenses are not to be underestimated, but still, you don't want to risk it too much. And then, yeah, obviously, Kilowattrel and Breloom are not the most defensive Pokemons. And then for the support, and this is where I wanted to mention Bisharp and Kilowattrel again, because the hazard support is very good on this team. Mew, Sandslash, and Diancie can all run hazards. Are they reliable hazard terrors? But you have a lot of hazards on the technical basis. And Bisharp also has rocks. Why is that good? Both your Terra captains both have Defiant or Competitive. So Defog can be pretty punishing. There is a negative to be mentioned here though, because you don't have a spin blocker. So if people have spin, they would probably rather press spin than the Defog, just because of your Defiant and Competitive mods.
It does also have to be mentioned that on this team, I'd argue Kilo often needs to be Volt Absorb.
Yeah, that is to mention as well.
But obviously having the just potentially discouraging Defog is still good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The removal is decent. You have the best defogger in the game probably in Corviknight, and then you have like a okayish spinner and the Sandslash and a backup defogger in Mew, although it really struggles to fit it. Momentum is decent as well. You have Flip Turn on Vaporeon / Mew. You have U-Turn on Kilowattrel and Corviknight. You have Baton Pass on Diancie technically as well. You have 3 mons that can reliably click knockoff. You have Wish Passing with the Vaporeon, and you have a Trick Room mode, although you don't really have an abuser for the Trick Room mode. But you can like reverse Trick Room if need be. You also, like, obviously you have screens, you have some like annoying stuff. You have Spore support, which is also so to mention because Brillium can freely press Spore into most matchups. So yeah, I think the support is pretty good on this team, especially hard carried by Mew and Vaporeon.
Yeah, Mew and Vaporeon really help a lot, but I think also the pivoting is really good as well.
It could be better. It's basically 4 to 5 mons. If you really look at it. Because Mew is under every momentum, then it's Mew, Kilowattrel, Corviknight, Vaporeon, and Diancie technically, although Diancie doesn't really fit Baton Pass often. So it's technically 4 mons. Which is actually pretty fine considering how that you only have a 9-mon draft.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's pretty good. Like, there's some teams we've seen with like 1 or 2 ones. I think over half the draft is pretty good. Like,
yeah, I really like Soda's draft. I do think a good spin blocker would be very ideal here, just to make Bishop and Kilowattrel even more threatening. But it's fine. Any words from the other guys? Aaron, Zeb, Roy.
Mew and
Yeah.
Bishop's really good, so I like it.
Yeah, this is also a team that it's not ideal because Mew's kind of the main hazard setter, but otherwise Mew's pretty freed up.
yeah, I think Mew is most.
Was kind of a fraud, so.
Well, on this team, it's probably going to be defensive more often than not, but Mew still offers a very good defensive one, so that's mostly fine.
Yeah, it still has options here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Soda seems pretty good. Number 3, which gets us to number 2, which is Aaron himself.
Hi.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
me.
get into the team. For your freak meter is, by the way, 50 out of 100.
Wow, Emilio, could you mid?
Apparently, at least for freak meter.
To be fair, it's almost like I don't have a single Lunable on the team.
I am Valiant.
My team's wholesome, bro. You did not just say
I'm
you're
Valiant.
Get this fucking guy out of
I
here.
did. Fanboy.
No, the
Guy outta
the
here.
furries enjoy Weavile.
Yeah, the furries enjoy my team. I have K9, Weavile,
I'm Valiant.
but like my team's just fine.
Yeah.
Chill
You
out,
have
team.
a Raging Bolt. You have a Raging Bolt. Throw game.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Anyways,
try that.
What are we
Yeah,
talking
with the electric type. Yeah, the electric type, of course.
to
Like,
the
that's
basics.
the smartest thing you've ever plugged your shit into. dude.
There's 2 typings you don't have, Bug and Ghost. Bug, not a necessary typing, so it doesn't matter. For Ghost types, you have enough fighting and normal type switchings for it to not matter. So yeah, you're spent pretty well there.
I would say Ghost is a bit of a problem for this team, only because Weavile, while a great dark type, is not a good defensive one. But Porygon might be able to cover it in a pinch.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Porygon. That's... I've had it beat Giratina and Dragapult. If you can handle those ghosts, you can handle any ghost.
Oh, I'm telling you this now. Like, I'm not saying that as a diss. I've drafted Porygon for the same reason as Aaron has. Like, as I wanted like a normal type that can actually answer Ghost quite well.
Yeah.
It's literally the only.
I still don't
reason I'm
disagree
on
that it could be a problem.
Yeah, and for the speed tiers, no real big gaps. Nothing to really mention there. Like the biggest gap is between 60 and 40, and 40 and 20. So
who cares?
Literally
who
nothing
cares?
bomb.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
Literally nothing bomb.
Then to the offensive core. physically, you have Weavile, Iron Valiant, Arcanine Hisui. Especially, you have Iron Valiant again, you have Manaphy, and you have Raging Bolt. So I think a very decent to very good offensive core. I think especially Weavile and Iron Valiant work very well together offensively. And then you slap on the Manaphy with a Tail Glow set or the Terra Arcanine Hisui, and it becomes very threatening.
And also Bolt, especially.
Yeah.
That's a big threat because it's dual stabs just rip through so many mons.
Yeah. Especially since there's no Fairy Ground type yet.
And also, like,
Don't say
Aaron
yet.
has
Don't curse the entire Gen 10. Don't do it.
Yeah, we don't need to see.
We're
As
good
long
on
as
that.
made a cam in Insurgents, we don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, it had special huge power, but so I think it was already kind of unnecessary. But yeah, we don't really need it, no.
I mean, if it's a bad mod, we at least get the typing, you know. It's an unused
Yeah, I guess
typing.
it's satisfying. Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the defensive core. For defensive, you have Gligar, you have Weezing Galar, you have Porygon, you have Ferrothorn, you have some Terra sets with Arcanine Hisui, you have some niche Manaphy sets. So I think on the defensive side, you're also pretty stacked pretty well.
I do think I actually rated it out. If I remember correctly, I think I rated it actually lower. Like the mons and the bulk is pretty good. The one like thing holding it back, especially when we compare to like the top teams, there's not a lot of longevity. Like this team is more offensively inclined, so it's not necessarily bad. But when like you're at close to the top, it's like just splitting hairs. So that's like one of the things holding it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's there for a good time, not a long time.
Like it is offensive.
But Gligar will live longer than you think it will. I will say this, even if you knock off its EVO. Like,
Well, it's that and Pharaoh. The only thing is relative recovery. So in like Weezing,
sometimes
and your support
Arcanine
room
also
gets
has recovery, but
recover. Yeah, I mean
Arcanine
Hisui can be run defensive in niche matchups. I need to stop forgetting that.
I mean, I'd go so far as it's very good defensively with Terra. The problem is obviously you usually prefer to run defensively. Like if you run Harknine defensively, it's more you have to, not that you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's usually.
I mean, literally week 1 I had to. It was actually so funny. I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this is horrible. It was awesome.
Yeah, like you run Arcanine Hisui defensively, like for example, into a Chiyu matchup because a Terra Fairy Flashfire Arcanine Hisui, which is hardball Chiyu.
Yeah.
Or the matchup where the fairy type has mystical fire and the offensive dragon has mystical or flamethrower, and then there's a Rotom Heat on the other team. That's when I would start running Harknine defensive. But yes.
Yeah. But rather an offensive inclined mon. And now to the support, you have a lot of knockoff, and every mon on that team, except for maybe Manaphy, clicks it reliably because Manaphy is more of a special attacker most of the time. But I guess it can fit knock if really needed.
Yeah, on like the support set. It's not like
utility set, yeah. But
like Manaphy can run like AV, bulky PV, like knock, flip, turn, scald, fourth pretty well.
Yeah. Then for the momentum is a little weak for how offensively minded this team is. You have obviously Manaphy, Gligar, and the Raging Bolt, which all get like offensive momentum. Then you have some baton pass mons with Weavile and Meowstic. Although Weavile hardly fits the baton pass and Meowstic rarely comes. You do have Prankster Meowstic, which is pretty nice. So you can like get Prankster screens, which is pretty cool. You also have the competitive version because you get both Meowsticks if you draft it. So you can technically run an offensive Meowstic sets with competitive with how much hazards you have. You have Gligar and Pharaoh, which are two very amazing hazards.
I'd be incredibly amazed if that ever.
I mean,
the Meow?
Yeah, the female
Meowstic. Female male Meowstic is like a good, like if you have 5 months and you just want like
something that's
setup
not fit
spam.
into the matchup, yeah.
But female is just bad. It's just dog shit.
Yeah, but you technically have the competitive mode there if you really want to. But
sure.
Removal is kind of bad. You have defog on Gligar, which moves slot syndrome sometimes on Gligar. And like Weezing runs defog very well. But a spinner here, this team would really like a spinner with how good your hazards are.
Yeah, I do agree that it would be nice to have a bit better, like considering how good like Pharaoh and Gligar are.
Yeah.
Like to just hazard spam so that. But obviously, spinner is usually a luxury more than especially here in. Unless you also have like. Honestly, you also have an offensive. Maybe like force, like if people click defog into you, then you allow like a free turn to like Harkonine or Valiant becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Literally anything. There's like 6
Not
ones on my
very-
team that if you click defog, depending on the mon that you've clicked it on, could enable something you're not really comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think this is a very, very good team. I really like the offense. Defense, obviously, like a little bit of a longevity problem, but I think it works as well because this team is obviously offensive minded more than defensive minded.
Yeah, it's basically just it's bulky enough to where you have the bulk to like neutralize an opposing threat, and that's kind of all you need, like
Yeah.
for this kind of team.
So, Aaron, anything you want to
I
say
think it
about your
was
own
well.
team?
Yeah, I mean it's solid. I managed to get the Weavile back from Taco after he sniped me and broke his bet at the same time. I don't know. I'm excited to use Manaphy. I've been kind of like itching to use it, so I drafted it in a bunch of leagues. So I think the only thing on Fraud Watch on my team for me would be the Manaphy, but I'm kind of used to like having a lot of really straightforward pivot spam mons. So I'm gonna see how it goes with this. I don't think the team's bad, but
Yeah.
I spent so many points on like the Weavile through the Manaphy, or like, and you know, like I spent so many points until like the Hark and the Terraguise that you see me just like fall off the face of the planet. So
Yeah.
like there really was no room for like
I
the
will say
luxury
this though.
spinner or the luxury ghost or sidekick.
I will say this though, with the points you had left over, I think you did the best that you could. Like Gligar and Porygon both are quite good mons, are
I was very lucky
underrated.
Gligar was left. I was very
Hmm.
lucky Gligar was left.
Oh,
I
yeah, it
saw
could
it
be
and I was
so
like,
much
okay,
worse.
this actually makes this work. I wouldn't have made trades at all, probably. I would have left the Weavile on the board. If
Yeah, because you do
Gligar
have to
didn't
respect the
exist.
Gligar. You do have to respect
Yeah.
the Gligar. I learned against Emilio, like in semis.
There's
You
also,
have to respect it.
there's also one thing to mention. You did talk about it really quickly in the org server if you should pick up the Gliscor or not. I think Gligar is just better here for
It's just
point
luxury.
value.
It's just luxury stuff, and
Yeah.
I like keeping it in mind because like there's a good chance week 3 I go, yeah, I'm not really feeling the kind of vibe my team's going for. And I like being aware of what's left on the board. Like there's the Palafin I dropped, the Mega Scizor, the Gliscor. So I just like week 2 or 3 I like being aware of like what's still left and
Yeah.
if it would work on my team.
I am almost quite sad that Mega Scissors on the board because
It's
think
tempting, isn't it?
obviously-
It's so tempting, isn't it? And especially for you.
Yeah, for Zed
yeah, I
especially
mean
in a
both
ranked
yes
game.
and no. Like it's been a long time since I drafted Rain, and like I just really like it. Gen 9 Mega Swampert in
Yeah.
Rain, but it's like yeah, I don't need Pert. I have a ground type. I have a Swift Swimmer. Like
Honestly, Barra's probably I understand. Like when I looked at it, I was like, realistically, if you have Barra with Terra, you don't need the Swampert. I think the
But
Swampert
I think
becomes
it's-
luxury.
yeah.
You both of them
Obviously,
is really
like-
potent, obviously.
and it is also obviously just like
Right.
overload is obviously
Yeah.
a thing.
But let's get into the number 1 team. If you have counted, you know who's coming. It is Jakoto. Who is not freaky, do better.
Also, I feel like it should be clarified. You will get your paid money later, Jakoto. Just in case you are watching this.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that he does have a butt plug on his team, so
Yeah, but it's
otherwise,
only
yeah, it's not really
in
free.
combination with something of elite level goonage. It can't
Yeah,
be on
sure.
its own, otherwise you're kind of a weirdo, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of have to be
Yeah.
like, you got someone in the background that you're trying to impress, and you're like, yeah, I can do this weird ass shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Now,
Yeah, attack types.
onto the
Yeah.
team. Timing spice, it's missing bug, ice, and flying. While flying normally is an essential type, you have a Rotom Heat that is immune, and you have a Wolgerpon, which can take ground type moves pretty well. So I think it's fine. Speed tiers, you're also like you have the gap between Dragapult and Ogerpon, which like you allows some mons like Megalopunny and Iron Bundle to like run the positive natures, obviously. And then the gap between Glamora and Sylveon, which can allow mons like I think Raging Bolt or above to run those. So speed tiers could definitely be improved. I think typings wise you're fine though. Then for the offensive core, we have physically, we have Dragapult, we have Ogerpon, Wellspring, and we have Urshifu, Single Strike, plus we have Jirachi. Then special we have Dragapult again, we have Jirachi again, we have Rotomid, we have Glamora, and we have Sylveon. So I think offensively this team works very well. Terra Glamora has already made some people unhappy.
Yep. They also have Tidy Up Furret, so don't sleep on that.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
And they obviously have the beautiful offensive combination of Dragapult plus Urshifu Single Strike.
Legitimately, Terra Glamora is scary as fuck, especially with Rock Polish, Meteor Beam.
Yeah. And then they have like Ogerpon, which can be offensive for them. They have Jirachi, which can be offensive for them, but more forced into a defensive role here. But yeah. The defenses are probably the worst part about this team, because if you look at the defensive stats, there is physically the highest stat mon is Rotomheat. And then it's Jirachi plus Urshifu Single Strike. And on the special side, the highest stat mon is Sylveon, which is pretty good. And then it's again Rotomheat, Jirachi. So as you have guessed, a lot of defensive value will hang on to the Jirachi and Rotomheat.
And Quagsire with Terror as well, but I agree.
Yeah, like it's not. It's far from unplayable, but at the ground types can definitely be an issue here, because basically every good ground has raw coverage, and Woger can be a good ground switch in, but you kind of don't want to use it like too defensively, because that just means like you don't get the best use out of it.
Exactly. Honestly, as well, I would say Sylveon can be a very good especially defensive mon. I would say that I've used it a lot as a special defensive mon.
Yeah, I guess.
It's really easy to set up if you're smart with it.
Yeah, I think more the main issue is the physical offense, where you don't have a lot of like straight up physically bulky mons. Because while Rotomheat obviously is like bulky on the physical side, it dies to like easily dies to rock moves. And after that, it's like Jirachi, which also can do a great job. After Jirachi falls off a cliff a little bit into Quagsire, which obviously with Terra can be an annoying physically defensive mon. But then again, you have to remember, Quagsire does not have the highest BST.
Yeah, like the stats more and more are like very lacking, because like even the bulk is not great. It's carried by like typing, unaware, and recover. It's not. The bulk is just beyond about usable.
Yeah.
But it goes Quag, so it's good.
Yeah. Now to the support. The hazard support for one is amazing. You have Glamora and Quagsire, obviously amazing hazard setters. You have a backup rocker for Jirachi and a backup spiker in Ogerpon. Removal shit. No two ways about it. You have Tidy Up and you have Default Rotom.
No. You don't just have the main.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I will say, okay, slight fairness, I do agree. By the way, I'm actually agreeing with Ben. It is bad, but there might be a couple. I think he's going to use Glamora offensively most of the time. There might be some matchups with a defensive typing. Glamora can be a defensive spinner.
I guess so. Yeah.
But yeah, because also it can also, like, for example, for the steel types, it can run Earth Power to hit them as well, where they try and block the Mortal Spin. But yeah, your main basic mon is Rotomheat and pretty much Rotomheat, because it's there to be an offensive team. It's not there to get rid of hazards.
Yeah.
Third isn't there. It's just picked because it's a funny 1 point, not because it's.
It's the ninth mon.
Yeah, just get Greedent. Like generally, like if you want something for guys, get Greedent. Poor Gun's gone. So
you have one good knockoff clicker in Woger. Obviously, you have Healing Wish. You have 2 Wish mons. And you have what is I think the best part about this team. For one, you have screen setters in Rotomheat, Dragapult, and Jirachi, but the momentum and the hazards on this team are why the support is so high, because this is such an offensive-minded team where the amount of hazards and momentum really help this team be what it wants to be.
Yeah.
This has, that is, or it does have to be said, like, I mean, it's an offensive team. It kind of comes with the territory, but like if this team loses momentum in a game and like gets on the back foot, it could go wrong very quickly.
Yeah.
But it's still not bad because there's still like Jirachi Silva, like Rodham Heat, but and also like Rodham Heat has to like surprisingly has to like it's almost like the linchpin of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not like Rodham Heat's a good mon, but it shouldn't be like that crucial.
I think Silver and Jirachi Wish is going to be quite vital for the team because Rotom Heat's going to struggle to fit like Pain Split on a lot of weeks, so he might need a lot of Wish support as well, and also it would help with like Ogre Pump.
Yeah. So I think this team can work, but it has obviously to be played in a very offensive and very proactive type of style. Personally, I prefer Aaron's team because I think Aaron's team is more balanced in this one. But on the numbers, this team got first.
Which one is
I
more
think
balanced?
slightly.
The paper clip or the plastic straw?
The plastic straw.
It's literally just a game of these two offensive teams. Which one's a little more bulky?
Yeah. Personally, I prefer
But yeah,
yours,
no,
but
this team's just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. This team's just dumb.
yeah, this
The
team
both teams are.
This team is hard to check. This team is hard to check. Between Dragapult, Urshifu, then adding Ogre and Glamora to that, this team is hard to check.
Yeah, the only thing I
about it
was
is like
Mm.
you go right.
The only thing I slightly change is just pick a different 1 point normal, just so you have Sofa Ghost. But otherwise, this is a very solid team, and I think he will be able to make this work quite easily.
At least the positive is that, like, for speaking on ghosts, is you have the fastest.
One
like
of the two
your
strongest ghosts.
Like
in the
Spectre Air
entire
destroys
region,
this team, but then you just revenge it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shifu every single time, yeah.
So yeah, as number 1 team, Jakarta. Which
Ogre,
basically
Shifu, Pult. What a shame.
which basically concludes our PRs of Clodsire. Thank you for watching. Emilio loves you all, and especially the orc, and he secretly is in love with Zeb.
Makes sense.
I guess it's not a secret anymore.
Not a secret anymore. I exposed him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like. I feel like at points Orc is just like everyone thirsting for Emilio. I guess he reciprocates it a bit.
Yeah. Paco's too crazy. Emilio's just the right amount of crazy.
Fair, yeah. Well,
All right,
are you sure about that after the comment on my page?
Yeah, okay, maybe after the comment on your page, I might have a different light on Emilio, but anyways.
And I like how you said, "Oh yeah, sure, that's fine," but that's because you didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. That's why I said it's fine. Then I looked it up, and then I was like, "No, fuck, it's not fine."
Everyone watching at home, please not Google it. Instead, what you should Google is. No, I'm not going to say that because that's actually even worse. Google puppies. Google puppies.
Google AI overview. Puppies are actually a part of the feline. I don't know. I hate that AI fucking Google shit.
Yeah, I really need to find a way to disable that. It's annoying at work. They're making favor. I'll tell you now, Sam. I was going to say it, but I was like, no, that's too gross.
Anyways, any last thoughts, you guys, on the Clodsire power rankings?
Just remember that the Jakarta paid the mods.
So real.
This is true.
He's
I
not
mean,
even
no, he
gonna put
didn't.
on, right?
Yeah, we were.
Oh,
paid
yeah,
off.
he paid
There's
him.
obvious org bias, so.
I paid Ben off to put me bottom, so everyone underestimates me.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, you kind of fit on the bottom. I think that's what you like.
Well,
God damn.
goddamn, he just straight up called you out as a bottom.
What, okay, but in fairness, like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and my son's Emilio, so what do you expect?
I mean, to be fair, also, you are into women like Rhea Ripley, so yeah, you definitely like to be dominated.
Or he
I
likes
mean,
a
if
challenge.
that's the woman dominating me, I'm not going to complain.
Never mind. He doesn't like the challenge. You actually would rather.
If Rhea Ripley's dominating me, I ain't going to complain.
He could have saved it. He could have been like, "Yeah, I like a challenge," and he's like, "No, actually, I would show my stomach quite fast."
Fair enough. At least you're like confident about it. That's fair.
Yeah. Anyways, these were the Clodsire PRs. Again, take these with a grain of salt. We are just some good.
Don't
and
bitch
some...
out. Your opinion matters, bruh.
Yeah, but this is just a disclaimer. We're just some mediocre to
At
good
the end of the
draft players. So
I would say that I say that at the time.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we
Well, no, our opinion matters more, but we can still get it wrong.
yeah we can
No,
still
our
get it
opinion,
wrong. Like obviously, there
You can't hold us
is
accountable,
outliers.
but our opinion is better than yours, of course.
Sure,
course.
that's the perfect word to use.
Yeah. To anybody who watched the whole video, thanks for watching. To anybody who just watched their slide, fuck you.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
Anyways,
Alright. Let's randomize those fucking names. Zeb, I need you on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Thanks for watching. We were the Clodcast, and we wish you a good season. Goodbye.